right. Get a little bit of this cute little game underway. And then my voice is a lot better from last time, so that means I can maybe last for like probably a good 3 hours today. Going down Rins route, trying to get a good old true ending, because I only go for the best. And I just know how to talk to the ladies, what can I say? But welcome everybody back to part 2 for Katawa Shoujo, a game that I have a lot of experience with, and probably one of the scariest horror games I've ever played in my life. I was shitting myself last time. You know, I had diarrhea when I was waking up in the middle of the night. I was tossing and turning, just thinking about how, you know, we're going to be able to get this art piece in Rins route just planned. So, I'm going to go ahead and load this shit. Because it's the spirit of Halloween in like 2 days. Terrible that it's on a damn Sunday, too. Okay. Alright. Do this. Little adjustments here. Little adjustment here. And another 2 view here. Excellent. Awesome. Yo, what's happening there, buddy? I'm ready to do some funny voices there, man. I just needed to get rid of all 3 of my viewers that I have in this chat. I don't want them ruining or impeding on things. Alright. Well, I'm gonna load things up. Okay. You doing good, Mr. Producer? You having a good time there, buddy? You enjoying yourself from your little vacation that you're on? Having a good time? You're at work, and you're watching me? Wow. You know, that's quite an honor of me, I guess. Multitasking. Awesome. So you're... You know, I'm not sure if you kind of count as a viewer, though. I wonder, you know. No, you don't count as a viewer. So that means I'm at, like, what? 1.5 views? You're a 1 view... So I depreciated my value then. Well, you know, the one thing we've learned about this meme game is that the hilarity of it is that being a male VTuber is indeed a disability in itself. So who cares? You're FBI agent. Oh, well, hello there, Mr. FBI. How's it going? Are you looking for any illegal activities going on today? Can you share this with us? I'd like to know. Are you parked outside anybody else's houses right now? Doing a good job with that? You gonna get some rascal for causing problems on the internet? Well then, perfect. Alrighty, I'm gonna go underway. I'm gonna be doing voices for all of this. Well, thank you, Aoshi. Thank you, Aoshi. You know, I'm glad that you're gonna chill. I know for you and I both, this game is kind of a blast from the past. But I'm glad you're gonna chill. I'm glad that you've taken a... I'm glad that you're streaming, too. I try to catch your streams as much as I can. But... underway. Now I'm gonna start doing some funny voices. Perfect. I linger under the blanket. It's been fun to get into this. Yeah, that's good. You know, I'm glad that you're doing a lot better and you're enjoying VTubing. Yeah. The more that you do some streaming and stuff, the more fun that you have, because it's pretty much just you with the vocal chamber, and all you get to do is talk about whatever game you're playing, or if you want to get into the just chatting streams, you can just keep, like, I don't know, regurgitating whatever comes to your mind. You're looking out for a teenager who's been bullied lately, and you're going to rate... Isn't that... So, what are you, like, the milkman of, like, the FBI or something? Are you, like, trying to, like, go after, What kind of job is that? Looking after for, like, bullied teens? Shouldn't that be, like the police's job, the local level? You must be pretty low on the totem pole if they're giving you that stuff, or you might be even a trainee. Help! Help! I got bullied! Help! Help! Oh no! Oh! How did they get bullied? Tell me about this. Can you share with us how they got bullied? I'd like to know. Were they on the internet? Were they getting hassled on Discord? You know, nasty proprietary places like that. You know, I'm just gonna assume that you're just a fill-in right now, because that's kind of low-hanging fruit for a Mr. Federal Agent. So you Godspeed with that, Mr. FBI. I hope you be able to find that little nasty bully and you get them. I'm doing this. I want that extra money. You want the extra money? Well, if you want the extra money, then shouldn't you, like, I don't know, like, get, like, a side gig or something? Like, maybe... Don't like... Aren't there, like, some corrupt FBI people? Like, maybe you could be a fire person, too? Duel it up? What's happening there, Mr. King Schnorgy? Well, I hope you find that bully, and I hope you point a firm finger at them, wag it, and tell them, stop doing that. That's bad. No bullies allowed anywhere. We don't like bullying around here. But anyways, I'm gonna go and read this now. If you can give me a description, I'd love to help you with you, Mr. FBI. I'd love to see a van parked outside that nasty teenager's place. I think that'd be kind of funny. Alrighty. I linger under the blanket for a few minutes, gathering energy to rise up while making excuses. As for why, I already haven't. Honestly. By the way, for those of you that are new here, I also have the H scenes. I can hold them at gunpoint and aggressively tell them to apologize. Well, that's one way to deal with the bully. Or you could get, like, a mob against them, too. And then they'd be scared shitless. I think that's kind of like the new age way of doing this. For getting rid of bullies, is you gotta get in, like, a mob on the internet. Because then that way, because... I'm assuming that they're, like, a Zoomer or something. So their entire identity is tied to the online community. So you find out where they are. You know, you put them everywhere online. And then they're just like, wow, that guy is a really mean person. I shouldn't talk to them anymore. Well, I'll hold that to you there, buddy. I hope you can find that nasty little rapscallion. School is surprisingly exhausting. After a long pause, the culture shock has not faded, I think. Still, despite getting an impression that skipping class is easy here, I don't think they're going to let me get away that easily. So eventually, I do rise up, swallow the morning medications, and put on my old soccer clothing. Swallowing the morning heart arrhythmia meds. Ah, excellent. What a good way to start your day. Always make sure you have your meds in the morning. Thanks to my condition, I was exempted from taking part in gym classes at Yamaku, so I didn't get issued with a gym outfit. Ah, beautiful writing. I'd order some to cover a contingency, but wearing my old soccer clothes is kind of nostalgic. I can't use them for that anymore, so maybe they can get a new life this way, a bit like me. After all, if I'm going to start taking care of myself, I can't afford to slack around. I'll start from the basics. Basics which include keeping the rest of my body in shape along with what little I can do to strengthen my heart. You know, there's a way to strengthen your heart without putting much effort. It's called injecting anabolic steroids into your body. And I think that's what our hero right over here should probably do. I'm surprised to discover that I'm not the only one person present at the track. Well, who is it? Not just that, but it's a face I've seen before. Uh-oh. The prosthetic-legged girl who bowled over me in the hallway is running on the track, lithely, like a half-mechanical gazelle. What was her name again? It was a short one, but I can't remember. Well, I don't know her name either. I guess we'll have to figure this out with our main character. She seems to be running laps at somewhat an easy lope, her prosthetic legs clacking rhythmically on the hard track surface. I wonder what reason she has for running this early in the morning. Maybe it's something akin to mine. The nurse is oppressing the poor girl to jog like he is oppressing me. I certainly wouldn't be here if it wasn't for my health and prompting me to do so. And even with things being like they are, it's only because I wanted to get it out of the way early. Early morning calisthenics, little jog here and there. The fact that I would less likely encounter someone who could witness my pitiful attempts to get in shape was merely a happy accident. I'd leave, but it seems that my former assailant noticed me on her last lap. Oh. She waves at me cheerfully and jogs over. Twin Tails girl.
Good morning. Your name is Shoujo, right?
She grins, seemingly pleased that she'd remember my name.
You may not remember me. Amy, I knocked you over in the hall yesterday. Miss Ibarazaki.
She imitates Misha, imitating Shizune, failing to get the same kind of subdued lilts into her high-pitched voice. How could I forget such a blunt introduction? Emmy has the decency to look vaguely apologetic for a moment before giggling.
Yeah, sorry about that again.
Well, so as long as you don't make a habit of it, I suppose I'll be fine. So I guess we're gonna be doing some fun stuff, like actually kind of, I guess we get to work out. Fantastic. I like working out. I think it's good to get a little bit of physical activity going on. There's a scene happening, so don't have too much fun without me. Mr. FBI, I'll keep you in my thoughts when I'm playing this game. Especially when we get to certain scenes. I'll be like, man, if only Mr. FBI agent can be just vanning everybody left and right. Well, thank you. I gotta say, Mr. FBI, you're probably my favorite viewer so far. Thanks for being you. Make sure you get that bully. I hope that bully, repents for his sins from being just a nasty person on the internet.
Bray!
I'm not sure she realized I was joking. So, the spy consultant the nurse was talking about, is that actually you?
That's right!
Uh-oh. I was expecting someone from the nursing staff, to be honest.
What are you saying? I don't look like I could be a spy?
No, this is more like a relief. I was afraid you would have someone to watch my every move. Unless you're here to do that exactly.
No, I'm here for my own reasons. The nurse just asked me if I had seen a messy-haired transfer student who looked like he's kind of lost around the track.
So why are you down here? Emmy strikes a dramatic pose. That doesn't look like a dramatic pose.
Training!
For what?
Track!
Ah, I see. You're on the track team then. Emmy nods enthusiastically.
Yup, I'm one of the better runners too!
Emmy says with a wink and a gleam in her eye. And modest about it too.
Hey, you should join up! It's good exercise, you know!
I think that much activity is probably out of the question for me. No, I'm not even sure that I really like running all that much. Plus, I'm just not into organized sports, you know. It's true, I never even really got that much into soccer. I mean, I'd run around with my friends and all, but that was really the only reason I'd ever played. It wasn't for the glory to be found on the field, that's for sure. Emmy seems to understand my meaning.
I see. Not that the whole organization thing. But now that you're here, I guess we're gonna run together, huh?
What? Sure, I guess. Emmy seems pleased.
Are you gonna warm up?
Real men don't warm up.
Oh no, you should always warm up. Badly so.
She scolds me enthusiastically, but then smiles and leans closer.
I hate warming up too.
She laughs suddenly.
Heck, I didn't even have to stretch my legs.
As if to confirm her statement, she bounces up and down a couple times, giving a passing impression of standing on a pair of springs. Her leg blades seem to be quite elastic.
Let's go!
So we both take off around the track, and I can immediately see that she wasn't lying about being good at running. Emmy moves fluidly, throwing herself into the run with a sort of wild abandon. Look at this scene. Man, I'm just completely flabbergasted about this. You know, this is an amazing scene right over here. I'm in awe right now. How lovely. I find myself concentrating more on running properly. Hands spread right. And something about hitting the balls of your feet rather than the heels. I try to match my stride to Emmy's, but it's pretty difficult. Apparently, I'm not very good at it. Maybe Emmy could help me with that sometime. I'm really not feeling up to more than a couple laps today, and is slow to walk pretty quickly. Emmy keeps running and doesn't seem to notice I've stopped until she passes me a second time. Damn, he's getting lapped left and right. He really has got to improve that running speed of his. She quickly skids to a halt, breathing steadily in contrast to my own somewhat gasping demeanor. Oh god, look how out of shape Hisao is. It's like he can't do anything with that little heart of his. You know, or else, I bet if he did something, you know, he might have a bad time. He might have a heart attack. That's not good.
Finished already?
I hang my head ruefully. Yeah. I'm not in very good shape right now. Emmy nods and then grins at me again. She seems to do a lot of smiling. Oh, wow! What a nice, earnest girl she is. I almost would rather go down her little punctual route than go down Rins. But apparently everybody and their mothers thinks that Rins route's the best route. Who cares?
Next time you just have to hold out longer and then longer and then longer and you'll eventually be great.
I'll keep that in mind. But I think right now I'm going to get ready for class. Shouldn't you? Emmy shrugs unconcernedly.
No, I've got plenty of time.
I notice that she's not wearing a watch. Are you sure? Another careless shrug.
Not really, but I gotta finish my routine. See you later, Hisao.
Yeah, see you later. I'm not sure whether this morning's experiment was a success or a failure, but I'll admit, I do feel slightly good about getting out there this morning. Practice makes perfect, or something like that. Yeah, this is a horror game, actually. This is one of the scariest games I've ever played. This is an original English language visual novel. That's what makes it so scary. And I'm even doing the voices, too, so we can get the mood all set right. It's nice to at least feel like I've taken some semblance of control over my own health. I'll have to try to keep this up. I head back to the dorms and wash and change into my uniform. trying to resist the urge to take a really long and hot shower. I'm tired from all the running. I just want to unwind, but I don't want to break my slowly building routine of getting to school before the morning rush. After taking a long shower anyways, I dry myself off and get out of the stall to put on my clothes. Out of nowhere. Oh, look, it's our schizo! A shadow appears within the midst, looming and radiating malicious intent, bursts through the fog. Sup? Ah, shit, I missed that dialogue. Let's see if I can go back to it. What are you doing here? What the hell? You scared me. What's your problem? I should be asking you that. I've been looking for you all over the place, man. What do you mean all over the place? I want to ask if he's looking for me like that, stark naked, but hold my tongue back. Finally, I realize I'm naked too and quickly holding up my shirt in front of me, but Kenji doesn't seem to notice a thing. His glasses are fogged up, but then why doesn't he wipe them off? Is his vision so bad that it's like he's perpetually seeing through fog? You know, your room and... Yeah, that's it. Hey, I mean, I still had to get up though. Whatever, it's not important. Can I borrow some money? He puts on an innocent face and looks away, trying very hard to look very casual. It doesn't work. He's as transparent as his window pane-sized glasses. Talking neutrally like this, wearing nothing, feels awkward. Actually, somehow, it's even more awkward to be naked in front of someone when they can't see me being naked, to say nothing of the fact that he's naked as well. I try to brush the feeling off with little success. Money, sure. Awesome. Wait, why do you need it? Yeah, it's terrifying. You're pretty much getting this man, who's pretty much probably a schizophrenic, is in your bathroom. He's in your bathroom right now, and he's accosting you for money. I'm just trying to take a damn shower. Like, this is terrifying. Like, can you imagine this? Like, imagine you're, like, at a dorm. You're showering. A man comes with you with a pedal on his dick, and he's going up to you and saying, hey, buddy, you got any money? And you're supposed to be the only one using that. Like, that's terrifying. I don't know about you guys. That's really the horror of this game. You don't know what's going to be happening left and right. Can't you just give it to me because I had the goodwill to not run through your pockets? See, look at that! He's accosting me through my pockets! What a thief! I could have, but I exercised restraint. And in the end, isn't it the thought that counts? Come on, be a pal. This makes no sense. If the thought that counts, I should withhold payment. Since his thoughts were so clearly impure, his intentions are probably even more sinister since he can't tell me what they are. I say as much to him. I'm offended, man, but if this is your game, then fine, I guess I have no choice. I want to order a pizza, and I already have most of the cost of the pizza. I need your help for the rest. I get some of the pizza too, right? No. Are you serious? Yeah, I would give you some, but you have class, and you don't have time to eat a pizza. What about you? I'm not going to class. I have to wait for the pizza and pay the guy, and then I eat it. It's not easy. You have to obtain the pizza stealthily. If you don't, everybody will see you in the pizza and ask for a slice. It's hard work out there. Everybody wants a piece, and you're left pizzaless in an unforgiving world. It's happened before, and that's how I know. Every day, I plan my vengeance so that when people who wronged me order a pizza, I will be there, ever vigilant. Kenji strikes a dramatic pose, completely without irony. But yeah, I only need like 400 yen. Please, you're my only hope. I can't go outside buy my own pizza. It's too far. I try not to go out unless it's absolutely necessary. Let me tell you what happened last time I went out without carefully planning it out in advance. I was outside. I can't remember what I was doing. Something standing, maybe wondering how I got there. And then out of nowhere, it happened. Like a flash of lightning, splitting the sky. Like how you split a sandwich into two. Equal pieces to make it manageable to hold neat. A bird crapped on my head. It was the second most shocking moment of my life. What was the first? He ignores me and keeps going. I want to grab him and shake him. Is he just trying to keep momentum? I'll go with that, even if it's more likely than he just didn't hear me. It was like in the opening to some kind of anime shows. You know, like how there's always a part when the main dude is fighting his rival and they fly at each other and clash swords and it's like a big dramatic, cool, colored aura and zoom. It was like that, but with poo. Okay. So yeah, I need some money, please. Don't leave me hanging, man. I need like 10,000 yen. I thought it was 400. Okay. What? I'll pay you back, I swear. You better. That's what it means to borrow stuff. I don't know when I'll be able to pay you back. You have 1 week. Kenji winces and makes a noise like a dying cow, particularly disturbing the fact given his baton is conducting. His dick is waving around everywhere. You're not supposed to be so tight-assed about money between brothers in arms. Man, men have it bad enough as it is. Do you know that male porn stars only make about half of what female porn stars make? Chase a Lily, thank you for the Party of 7 raid. How's it happening? Welcome to my stream. We're playing art right now. Hey there, how's it going, everybody? That doesn't mean anything unless you're a porn star. So maybe I am a porn star on the side of struggling to make ends meet. Hello there! What is happening, everybody? Welcome, I'm playing Katawa Shoujo. This is a visual novel. It's a horror one, too. As you can see here, we're being accosted by the strange crazy man of the school. I'll bring you guys up to speed. So this is a typical... Yeah, hey, listen. So we're going down an art student girls route, and this is a horror visual novel because it's one of the first original English visual novels. And this guy, thank you for the follow, Chase. And yeah, so long story short, the local crazy student is kind of accosting us in the shower for money to buy pizza. Mr. Toker Silica, thank you for the follow. Welcome, guys, welcome. Please enjoy your stay. I'm also doing little voices, too. But yeah, we're being accosted right now, and I'm kind of spooked. So yeah, this is gonna be a good time. And let's see. Alright, I'll redo this line. So maybe I am a porn star, struggling on the side to make ends meet as if I fight the feminist agenda. You can't even spot me in your crumbs, you bastard. Nobody understands. Nobody. Wouldn't feminists be against pornography in the first place? This feminist agenda stuff again. This stuff is important. I can't see you give a shit, but it's serious here. Feminists are a dangerous enemy to make no mistakes. You take them lightly and you'll wake up in the morning with a knife in your back. BAM! Nowhere. How do you wake up in the morning if someone stabbed you in your sleep? Women are terrible at stabbing things. I thought you just said you don't take them lightly. Well, I mean, I don't take them... Well, I mean, I don't take them... Yes, they are. I don't take them lightly for big things individually. They're not a threat, but if there was some kind of war, like a big war with men on one side and the feminist force on the other side, it would be pretty ugly. And that day will come when the feminists come out of their central top-secret worldwide feminist headquarters and say, "It's on now, motherfuckers." You're being ridiculous. There's no big worldwide feminist headquarter buildings where would they even hide that? I mean, it'd be massive. You couldn't hide that in the air. Someone would notice a big fortress with only women in it. Who said it was on Earth? I turn away from Kenji and start practicing frowning faces in a mirror so that I can figure out what kind of frown will best express my emotions. He can't see me from this distance anyways. Victoria's Secret is a close second. Be careful when they have sales on that day. It is packed. Which unfortunately means that he just keeps on ranting without any regard to sense or sensibility. Yeah, there's a war going on. A war not many know about, but it's a great one that will one day boil over and encompass all of the known world. Then we have to pick a side. And that makes a stand. Thank you, Big Otosan, for the follow. We'll have to pick sides. We'll have to make a stand. In fact, it's happening right now. Imagine it. A bloody battlefield. A vicious conflict without end. I almost gave up when I thought this cause was silly when I grew out of the bleakness of our fight. When I mistook the time and power went out for a feminist raid and thought the end was near. But then I realized if I gave up, it would all be over. Like, I was like, whoa, I knew I had to get serious. Because I'm the last sane man in an insane world that's about duty. Must be a pretty crappy movement if it hinges on one naked guy ranting in a bathroom at another naked guy. So, can I have the money? He's blocking the way out. It's getting cold because I'm still naked, and I want to go to class, so I agree to spot him the money. Awesome, thanks, dude. We should go bowling later on. Bowling? Yeah, it's the ultimate sport. There are almost no women bowlers either, making it also the manliest sport. Should I wear my pink bowling shirt, matching shoes, or pastel green with flower accents? There are bowling clothes. Maybe. Anyway, you'd better pay me back. I can pay you back in stuff, right? Yeah, well, Mrs. Toker, we literally just got robbed right now. Our money got taken by this crazy naked man in the shower. Like, can you imagine, imagine somebody, accosts you for money, talks to you about a conspiracy theory in the shower, and then takes it, and probably won't pay you back. And now that this crazy man knows you have their money, they're probably gonna go back and ask you for more. You know, it's kind of like the old story, right? Yeah, it's the old story. You feed a mouse a cookie. Yeah, actually, that's a good question. Where the hell is he putting his money? Where is he putting the money? If you're in the shower, where are you grabbing the money and where are you putting it? Is he putting it in, one of his pockets or something? Who knows? Who knows? Nature's pocket. That's right. Yeah, Nature's pocket. The tags, I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know. I have to get to class and you're kind of in the way. Oh, sorry. Yeah, I didn't want to hold you up and I have some stuff to do to myself and the time has come. The time for what? I just like saying that. Okay, now the time has really come. For what? I have to use the bathroom. Get out of it. I was just going to. And what does it mean? That's a big bathroom. So I have to be alone, right? The pressure. Okay. What if somebody else comes in? I'll think of something. I give him my practice frown. It looks kind of silly reflected in his glasses. He either doesn't notice or doesn't see anyway. So I get dressed and run back to my room, feeling as though an eternity has passed since I woke up. Ah, Jesus, we finally dodged that guy. I know, this guy's He's like walking around. He's like walking around naked. You know, he probably does that in the dorms too. That's insane. What a crazed guy. Yes, Kenji does have a route. He does have a route, and it's considered a bad end. I'm gonna spoil this. One of his routes. So if you don't romance any of the girls, you go down the Kenji route automatically, and then you just sit with him and you live forever without finding yourself a sweetheart. Ah, man, that's what you do in the local showers, right? You hang dong in public and you say, "Hey, bro, you see what's like the latest cool stuff like on sports?" You go, "Oh no, man. Hey, bro, you want your back washed or something?" It's kind of normal, right? That is time I'll never get back. I'll get him for this somehow. But right now, I have to get to class. Yeah, just being a bro. Hey, bro, like you got a little bit of suds down there. You mind if like I get that for you? Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks. I can't believe I missed that spot. No problem, man. Girls were similar in the dorm showers? Really? Okay, I have I might work in the fitness industry. You know, I'm a pretty physically fit prince, and I do have some other royal subjects that I might coach on their physical fitness, and some of them females. I've heard some stories from them about like what goes on. I had one lady once rant to me about how like they get dolled up. Some of them get dolled up for like makeup for about 10 to 15 minutes before they go work out, and they kind of do exactly what you're suggesting, Mrs. Stoker. So I would not put it past them. They're probably walking around, you know, chit chatting, having a good time. But surprisingly, it's usually for the guy's side. I haven't really seen anything like that, and girls are scary as fuck. Yeah, they are. Women can be very terrifying, especially if you get on some nasty ones, bad sides. But I can't say I could say the same thing for guy locker rooms. The only thing that you really see in guy locker rooms are like the typical old guys that like sit there, they're past their prime. They just don't give a shit anymore and they're just like walking around without towels. And you walk in there, you know, try to go to the bathroom or whatever, and you just see them just spread eagle going everywhere. And they're just having casual conversation about hockey, the news, football or whatever. I'm married to her and it's scary as fuck. Man. Well, I mean, hey, listen, that's called a good marriage, right? If you're not afraid of your spouse in some way or form. I mean, how else are you supposed to like each other? All right, so we're the first person in class. I'm the first person in class today, although I'm a little too early. Then again, sitting alone here for 20 minutes sure beats having to suffer the time with Kenji. I'm gonna see myself out. Well then, make sure you play nice on the dinner table, you two. The combination of fatigue, frustration, and boredom starts making me feel very tired. I black out for a second, waking up when my head hurt hits the surface of the desk. Rubbing my forehead, I realize this is as good as a reason to stay up for now and stop coming to class so early. Or so later. Eventually, I hear a tapping noise outside the hallway and Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway. She's not in this class, so she must have other business. Maybe she's looking for Hanako. Lily stops at the door looking hesitant as if she was a vampire who can't come in unless invited. I consider doing so since she looks rather lonesome sitting there. She steps in on her own accord, even after straightening her skirt and shirt collar, as if it were of importance to look prim when entering our classroom. Excuse me? She calls in the quiet classroom with a probing, delicate voice. I realize the silence might unnerve her because of her blindness, so I break it. Good morning, Lily. Hisao, good morning. I didn't hear you come in. I wonder if she thinks it's suspicious I didn't say anything to her before. It's likely if I were to tell too a big lie now, it would sink me. Well, I was already here. I'm just asleep until now. Oh, have you seen Hanako today by any chance? No, she seems to have only come in just before the bells ring. Or after that. Do you want me to tell her something for you?
No, it's fine. It's strange, but I think we're the only two people in school right now. I didn't hear anyone else on my way over here.
I shouldn't have gotten up so early today, I guess.
You're chastising yourself for doing something that other people should. Punctuality is a good thing. I think so, anyway. It's a very busy morning today. The festival's coming up soon. And today is the deadline for event registration, budget reports, and any other official paperwork. It could be that everyone is trying to complete the necessary forms at the last minute. Maybe that's why it's so quiet today. Hi!
Misha pops into the room with Shizune as if on cue, shouting with a loudness that makes Lily visibly flinch.
Hi-chan!
Hi. Please, Mrs. Toker, please hydrate. I need you to make sure you have fluids in you.
Look, it's a class representative! Hello!
Lily smiles, probably amused by Misha's, or Shizune's use of the word, look.
Good morning.
Shizune gleefully pushes her eyeglasses up, as if being in a very arrogant and haughtily pose. Yeah, that's called a bait redeem. I put that bait redeem there. There's like 3 of them. There's me acknowledging that you exist. There's me telling you to hydrate. And then, I forgot the other one. I think it's pointless.
Of course you're not the representative of this class, right? Right? I'm not.
Lily seems a little more guarded in her answer to Shizune than she was with me the other day. I guess they really don't get along at all. Then I realize that Lily might not actually know that Shizune is present, and she's trying to detect whether or not she is, to know who she is talking to. For all she knows, she's talking to Misha, but knowing that she and Shizune are practically inseparable, she might expect Shizune being the one that actually talks. Damn. How complicated. I decided to help Lily out for my own peace of mind, and more than anything else. We can pay channel points to be spat on and insulting. Oh yeah, sure, how about I do that right now, you piece of shit. Alright, I got a little spit on you right there. Yeah, I'm the Prince VTuber that's pretty much the prince of everybody's dreams. I'm exactly what you'd expect in a romantic shoujo manga. Or even an anime. You know, I have my little, like, steed and stuff that I, like, go and I pick up, you know, the heroine at, and I look at her in her eyes with my lovely, lovely golden locks. And what I do is, you know, right, I go up to her, right? Go up to the main character. Whoops. I go up to them. And I look at her with this eye right over here. And we look and we stare at each other for a long time. And then I tell her, "Get away from me, you piece of shit." But yeah. That's the type of prince I am. I'm just a cute, handsome, very very nice to everybody. You know, I'm exactly what you'd expect out of a manga. That's what I am. I'm the very typical shoujo prince, and I just know how to just romance the ladies, just like in this visual novel we're playing right now. You're here early, Shizune.
You were here even earlier than us.
Misha puffs out her cheeks angrily. Why is she getting angry? Does she feel emotions on Shizune's behalf too? It's not that weird though. Shizune didn't like my little comment, it's true. I was here earlier than them, so me saying something like that could definitely be misinterpreted as anything. Oh my, it's getting heated. I think we're gonna have like some fisticuffs happen in between these two girls. But I think Lily's too much of an Ojo-sama to want to, you know, bring it down with Shizune over here. Especially the Shizune who doesn't have the benefit of hearing tone to gauge intent. Before I can start weighing or not, I should apologize. Shizune has already moved on.
Class rep, it's a good thing you're here. We have to talk. The festival's coming up 3 days, right? Every other class is already handing their completed project budget reports for the events. Even the first years, except you.
There's still time to hand it in, isn't there?
Today! The deadline is today!
Thank you, Mr. Toker. Thank you again for the raid suggestion. Thank you. You know, the stream is going to go great. I'm going to see how far I can go down the route today without my voice dying from doing all the voices. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for following. And take it easy, okay?
Today, the deadline is today. You're certainly taking your time, aren't you? If I had my way, I'd have all the necessary paperwork days ago, but someone had to say the deadline. Please extend it.
Yes, that was me. Planning something on this scale is not a small task, and a week is too small of a time frame to expect a whole class to work out such a complex issue completely.
Do you want to know what's harder than disturbing the funds for one class event? Handling the matter for every class, school, then some. The one who does that is me.
Misha puts her hands on her hips, stands straight up straight. Whoa! She is really getting into the role. Lily doesn't look like she's very amused, though. Hey, Shizune, aren't you being a little too hard on her? There's still a whole day left.
Please, Hisao, it's all right.
Lily seems happy I'm taking her side, but a bit conflicted that I might not think that she could take care of herself.
If this is about the budget, then I'm disappointed you think I've forgotten about it. I understand how important it is.
Then, can I have it, please?
Shizune, she might not have it on her in this exact second.
It's not here right now. I asked 2 students to take care of it for me. Students from my class.
She emphasized the last sentence to my surprise. She knows about Shizune and Misha's efforts to rope me into the student council. I guess word must have gotten around that she's now using me as ammo against Shizune. This just gets better and better.
It was your responsibility. A budget report isn't something you should just be delegating away as class rep. It's your job to be on top of things. This kind of disregard for proper procedure is just really terrible.
They completed it, being capable of doing so, but the students have been sick recently, so they could not come to school and give it back to me. If you want, I will apologize on their behalf for getting sick.
Okay!
Although Misha misses Lily's jab entirely, Shizune doesn't. She seems torn between being offended by Lily's daring and jumping for joy at the prospect of a challenge.
Lily, don't they live here at the school? It's like a 5-minute walk, you know. What could they possibly have that prevents them from taking 5 minutes out of their busy lives to drop off something that will affect the enjoyment of the entire class?
Lily opens her mouth to say something, but Shizune closes the gap between them and starts signing furiously, waving her hands around like an orchestra conductor. Misha tries her best to convey the same passion, but can't seem to lose her normal, cheerful tone. The result is interesting and somewhat surreal.
And what's with the attitude? I said that's not something you should be delegating away. Are you the class representative or aren't you? Tell me the names of 2 students. They should have your job if you can't even handle something this simple yourself.
One form isn't the full extent of what I'm supposed to take care of.
Lily's tone is growing slightly impatient, but she's doing a good job of not letting Shizune see how unsettled she is becoming. She's playing her cards close to her chest. Shizune, on the other hand, wraps her fingers cheerfully along the edges of her glasses, knowing Lily can neither hear nor see how excited she is. Oh, yeah. We got ourselves a real Class A rivalry going on, folks.
Of course, you do so much class rap. Must be difficult being you.
Lily tightens her lips at Misha's words, clearly understanding the intent behind them, even though Misha delivers them without a hint of sarcasm, which they were meant to have. Shizune and Lily don't like each other. That much is clear, but this seems a little much. It seems like Lily has had enough. Yes, they are. So you have the deaf girl and her interpreter bullying the blind girl, Lily. And we have archetypes right here. Shizune's the atypical Seito Kaicho, and Misha's kind of the underling that does everything that she asks. And Lily is the good-natured Ojo-sama that just looks out for her class and seems to have a very soft and sweet heart. But she does have a bit of a mischievous side, otherwise she wouldn't be Shizune's rival. Shizune and Lily don't like each other. That much is clear, but this seems a little much. It seems like Lily has had enough and is ready to push back. Prince Winefart has finally arrived. What's up, nerd bar? What? I can't believe you're here watching me? A V-tweeter? Well, why don't you sit back and why don't you watch how a real G does this? Oh yeah, this is high school drama. Oh!
I was actually just discussing the budget report before you came by. You must be very talented to have finished all your student council duties so quickly. That you can track me down to make sure that I don't forget my own.
Are you accusing me of slacking off? It seems like you're confusing me with yourself.
I don't think so. That would be very difficult for me to do comparing myself to you.
You're right. The difference between us is like heaven and hell.
And it's not hard to guess which one you might represent.
The air between them ripples with the heat of their enmity. Well, not really. They can't disguise it anymore, even though Misha looks like she's beginning to understand the real nature of this conversation.
He-chan, don't you slack off either.
What are you talking about?
Aren't you taking part in the festival, He-chan? You are, aren't you? Then I hope you're going to do a lot more to make sure that it goes smoothly than this person.
I don't understand why Shizune is suddenly getting mad at me. Let's see. You know what? Just in case. It's been a while since I last played this. Just in case. All right. So I have two options here. I can say, don't drag me into this bitch fight. And, tell both of them that, I'm not playing sides here. I kind of want to be me, right? I don't want to be getting involved in any of this shit. I don't want some drama. I'd rather watch it from afar. Or I actually decide to defend Lily in this, who probably is who you should properly defend in this situation. But I don't know. I'm at an impasse right now. What do I do? Who should I vote? What should I pick? Let's see. Help the blind girl. Be a good boy. Oh, so we have one for helping out Lily. We got any other people in chat that think I shouldn't? Do I be a demon and help out the bitch wearing the glasses? I don't know. Stay out of it. It's not your problem. Hello there, Zagig. Welcome to Katawa Shoujo. Stay out of it. It's not your problem. Okay, so we got a one-to-one view right here. Don't help the bitch. I won't help bitch Zune, definitely. I'm not going down her route. I gotta see all these girls that you see in front of here. I'm not trying to romance any of them. So what's interesting is I gotta choose the right one. No. I'm gonna be romanticizing the art girl. Not the class rep, not the underling. Yeah. Don't drag me into this. I've done my part. Why am I being dragged into this again? I've done more than enough, I think. If you're angry with Lily, that has nothing to do to me.
Now, wait just a second. Are you implying the president is more right in scolding me than yourself?
Ah, damn, I think I could have worded that better. No, I don't think about that, but I mean...
What are you saying, He-chan?
It's just that I hardly think it's fair you could say that, seeing as I've helped you guys. The mood has changed. This is like a showdown between two gunfighters now. Well, it was like that before too, but this time Shizune's focus is on me. Whoa! This is what you get for being a fence sitter. Remember, everybody, don't fence sit. Don't be a fence sitter. And so is Lily's, though she keeps quiet. I'm afraid I inadvertently pissed her off. Uh-oh. I made a boo-boo. I made all of them angry. These girls are going to have my head.
Are you saying I'm wrong?
What a dangerous situation. Oh my.
It's too early to argue with you. Yes, I think it's unfair for you to get on my case.
Hey, hydrate, Zagig.
He-chan, you want too much. But you have a point. Okay. You're not lazy, He-chan.
Awesome. Well, good luck with that grocery store run. Hope you get what you're looking for. Shizune pushes up her glasses with her thumb, almost approvingly.
That's good. If you're not useless, you shouldn't let anybody say you are. But the next time I say it, it's really because you're disappointing me like Miss Class Rep here. Don't let this go to your head.
Lily takes a jab silently, a venomous visage frozen across her face.
Class Rep, She-chan says, don't forget the report, please.
I won't. Would that be all?
Yeah.
Then good day to you all.
Her voice would cut the air of the classroom in half if it was more tangible. Lily leaves the room, understandably in a bad mood, but still managed to be as poised and calm as usual.
Shizune, you really did go a little too far today. It's true, She-chan, just a little.
If I had been expecting Shizune to grudgingly admit, I have a point there as well. I think I was expecting too much. She doesn't respond.
She-chan thinks you should mind your own business. He-chan, we have a few last-minute things for us to take care of before class. We might be late, so can you please cover for us?
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, okay. Thanks, He-chan.
They walk outside even though there's only 10 minutes left before the bell will ring, signaling the start of the class. Hanako doesn't come to the morning class at all, leaving her seat looking empty and lonely in the back of the classroom. I have to tell her that Lily was looking for her if I see her later. After the events of this morning, class is pretty boring in comparison. I turn the pages of my textbook lazily. We've been covering the same amount of pages each day, so reading ahead is more or less giving myself a preview of what tomorrow's lesson will be about. The clock at the front of the room sounds unbearably loud. The teacher has said anything in this over 7 minutes, instead opting to cover the board in rows and rows of equations taken directly from the book. The rhythmic clashing of chalk on a blackboard seems to synchronize perfectly with the ticking of the clock. I start to copy down the equation just to pass the time, not noticing Misha's head poking over my shoulder until she's like almost on top of me. What are you doing? I try to strike a balance between being quiet enough not to draw attention to myself, but loud enough to draw hers. What are you doing, He-chan? Panic shoots through me as Misha starts talking at her normal volume, and I sputter out a hasty reply, still keeping my voice down despite the fact that she just blew any hope of being discreet I may have had. I'm copying down that stuff. What are you doing? Why so loud? Oh, really? But it's all in the book. That's why no one else is, copying it down. I know. Why are you so loud? Why are you so quiet, Jan? It's hard to hear you. I look around to see if anyone is noticing our conversation. It's pretty obvious that everyone has. Even the teacher. Shizune smiles coyly, and I start to wonder if Misha's doing this because she told her to. Is it because of what had happened between her and Lily earlier? This is what I get for trying to be reasonable, for trying to take the middle path. Shizune is way too prideful, although by now I should know to expect that kind of behavior from her. Why are you doing this? Huh? Misha is totally oblivious to the awkward stare the teacher's giving us both while trying to balance her textbook on one finger. For a brief second, it looks as if things could get ugly, but the teacher simply looks away, as if it's not worth the trouble. I guess this is a good thing. I slump back in my seat in relief. The rest of the day passes by, uneventfully, and this time I'm able to appreciate that it does. When the bell rings, I'm not in a hurry, so I stay for a while, reviewing what we covered in class today. I prefer to leave last anyways, so I don't have to deal with the crowding in the hallways. I notice Shizune and Misha have also stayed behind, talking to someone from another class. Shizune is signing so fast that her hand makes noise like swords cutting the air. Misha's trying desperately to keep up, but it's clear she can barely manage to even understand her. I put my head down. Whatever they're discussing, it looks like serious business. Probably way over my head. Not just that, but Shizune also seems angry, although it could just be her normal severity making it appear so. Shizune signs to the point where her wrists crackle and Misha struggles to spit it out in word form. Sometimes she just trips over herself like she's dealing with tongue twisters, and then on top of that, she has to sign back at anything the other girl says. Seems like a rough job. Misha looks tired like she's about to faint. Luckily for her, their business is soon finished, and the girls sit down on their seats again. I'm so tired. She's hanging her head limply on her desk, looking exhausted. Festival preparations must be tough for you. Indeed, the people in this school seem to be taking this class very seriously. Whenever I see people idling around before and after classes, they're always talking about their plans for it. It's kind of neat to see everyone be so enthusiastic about it. I'm probably the only one who doesn't have something to do. Shizune starts signing at me and Misha perks up, looking at her hands with slightly unfocused eyes. She signs with harsh, heavy, dramatic strokes. Misha translates her signing into speech for me. She does it so well, almost like Shizune is actually speaking, transmitting her thoughts directly through her pawn. Well, we're in the student council, so you know we're pretty busy. Sarcasm. The tone of Shizune's actions make me think she's speaking with disdain. But Misha interprets it normally, replacing whatever intent may have been there with her own chipper twist on things. It's still disorientating. I don't think I'll ever get used to it. Never mind.
How could I forget with you two trying to get me to join at least twice a day? But Ki-chan, some could say the work is too much. It'd be nice if students were to show a little more support for their leadership. Some appreciation to the ones who are working so hard to make it all possible. Maybe, for example, a little help. That's asking too much, is it? Yup. Help would be appreciated from students like you. If students would show their dedication and school spirit and offer help, well, I don't exactly need it. But I wouldn't necessarily refute it. So, it would be nice if someone could. Oh, hello.
I look over my shoulder and see Hanako peering timidly in the classroom, most of her body hidden behind the door.
Hey, playing delinquent again.
Hanako blushes hard at Misha's straightforward jab, even if it were only in jest. Shizune stares at her probingly, causing Hanako to look down and start backing away, to the point where only her fingers can be seen wrapped nervously around the edge of the door. Maybe she's showing her dislike of Hanako by association of her dislike of Lily. It appears so, and Hanako probably knows it as well. They seem to have momentarily forgotten about trying to get me in to stay for the rest of the day. What is it, Hanako?
Has Lily been here? Sorry, Sato's not here. She came by in the morning though.
Hanako keeps looking uneasily at Shizune, who stares back at her with her usual studying gaze. What's she trying to do? Of course Shizune isn't going to look away. She's intimidating enough as it is, so I can only imagine how terrified Hanako would be. It's a little funny though, watching Hanako's reaction to Shizune's normal behavior. This is what happens when two people of two different extremes meet, it seems.
Do you know where she is? If she has any sense in her head, she's in her classroom working on their festival project. But who knows where that woman is loitering at? She might be slacking off somewhere just like you, Chan.
Damn, what's it with Shizune and her need to point out stuff like this? Hanako nods quickly and retreats with haste.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, we're really working hard to make the festival happen.
And driving people insane along the way. Well, good luck with that. I stand up to leave, making my exit before either of them manages to berate me anymore for slacking off. Oh, that fucking picture. That goddamn painting. The hall's somewhat quiet as expected. Everyone must be in club meetings or festival preparations, or both. Shizune's words about being a slacker echo in my head. I feel a bit guilty about not contributing, but I seem to lack the resolve to do something concrete about the matter. Yeah, that painting is very infamous, the Twitch bar. It's in my dreams sometimes. I talked about this in the previous stream I did of this. You know, sometimes I have nightmares about it. For the festival, it's too late already unless I count helping Shizune and Misha. Which, naturally, I don't. In clubs, I don't know. Maybe I'm not a club type of person. Halfway through the way for the school building to the dorms. I will gift you it as a real painting. Ah, perfect. Thank you. I can finally have... I hope when I die one day that along with other time capsule fun memes get put in my coffin. Halfway through the way of the school building to dorms, I spot a figure in front of the dorms. It looks like she's working on your mural today. Now that's our girl. This is who we gotta, we gotta get spicy with. We gotta romance her, guys. We got Rin. We want Rin. That's who we need. We want her. We want that girl. There she is.
She's sitting on an upturned box, looking intently at the wall. She's painting with the brush held between her toes. The mural has progressed considerably since yesterday, but it's still only half done as far as I can tell. More colors have appeared, and the twisted human-like figures have spread and increased in numbers. I have to say, the style is quite eye-catching and very unique. Not like I would be knowledgeable about art by any measurable scale, but it's very nice looking nevertheless. I clear my throat to get her attention, but not startle her so that her concentration won't break. Oh, you say that. Wait. She doesn't even need to turn to check who it is. I'll wait. "15 minutes later, I decide that her concentration is indeed unbroken, and also that I have to waited long enough to wart her poking gently on the shoulder to remind her of my presence. Rin turns her head mechanically to my direction, ending up staring at my crotch level. My crotch level. Oh, okay. Oh, it's Hisao. She can tell. I would feel a lot less uncomfortable if she would look at my face. An astute observation. Hard at work, I see. The conversation starts as if I hadn't been here for a quarter of an hour already. But it's not a concern. At least, it starts. Looking good. It does the layers of paint, hiding other layers of paint, mixing and shaping the human figures really create an impressive look. But Rin looks miffed. You shouldn't comment on work in progress. 7 years of bad luck. Sounds terrible. I guess I'll take it back then. Still, it looks good. I wonder if I'll get 14 years of bad luck for thinking that. Rin turns back to looking at her paint and poking it with her big toe. Could you mix some of this color? I'm running out of it. She looks down at a half-empty bowl with the remains of the same pinkish paint net. I didn't really intend to stay and help her with this project. Though, I guess I didn't intend to do anything much. I look at Rin and she looks emptily back at me. Just this once. Rin picks up another brush and drenches it with another tone of pale red. There are dozens of similar bowls all around her working area. From the look of this scene, she could have been sitting there for hours. I wonder if she has. That means she's been skipping school, though, which, of course, I wouldn't put it beyond someone like Rin. I pour a little bit of white and red into the bowl, trying to match the color with one already on the wall. I can't seem to get it right. It's really convenient of her not to mix enough in the first place. Getting it to be exactly the same tone will be impossible, but at least I can try to get it as close as I can. Speaking of hard work, isn't that a huge workload for you too? It's such a big painting and all. Oh. I'm not old and bitter enough yet to think like that. I guess you aren't. You guessed right. Legs hurt though. They feel like slugs. Slugs made of sea slugs. Because of the position? Yeah, I like doing it in a horizontal position more, if you know what I'm talking about. But, can't be helped. Can't ask the wall to lay down. Saying that, she stretches herself a little, bending her legs back and forth more than a human should flex. It's astonishing how effortlessly she manages her body around. There's a small flinch in her otherwise blank expression, a hint of pain, maybe as she stretches out her calves. Rin must have stamina, dexterity far above a normal person to be able to live like she does. But she's wearing out working on this. Why push yourself so much? Take a break or something at least. Continue tomorrow if it's bad. This gives her a pause. A long one too, feeling like a mental yawn. I don't think so, Hisao. I'm not pushing myself. Sure, looks like you are. No, it's not about pushing or pulling, or anything related to that kind of thing. There is this boy.
A boy?
Yes.
Where?
At the art club.
And?
He's blind.
Oh. How can you paint if you're blind?
No idea.
So why is he there?
That's the point. He is there. She really should speak more than one word at a time to make this feel more like a discussion and less like an interrogation. He can't really do anything that you'd call art, right? But he comes there anyways and paints. Why?
I don't know. Why?
I don't know. That's why I asked.
So?
He doesn't paint often, but I think his paintings are very interesting.
I'm sure they are.
I once tried that, painting with my eyes closed. Wasn't too interesting, and cleaning up the floor took ages. Didn't try again. But he's becoming better at sculpting.
I see.
Maybe she was trying to make a point with this. Maybe she forgot she had one.
Seems like the art club is full of interesting people.
Not really. Pretty blunt statement, and she totally missed the sarcasm.
No?
Just like I said, they're not very interesting. I usually don't have much interest in people who are not interesting. Maybe you have.
Maybe.
But that boy is interesting. Maybe I'm like that boy, or maybe you are. Maybe everyone is. Doing things you can't do because you can.
That's pretty deep, and I think, and tell that to her. You're a deep one.
Wow, look at these Casanova lines I'm just dishing out on her. I am like so close to just, oh, we're already romancing her like nobody's business. Nah, I'm a really shallow and thoughtless person. People say that to me all the time. Did you know I can only think of 4 things at the same time? She is pretty deep, isn't she?
No, but now I do.
Right now, I'm thinking of the second floor's girls' toilet. Ice cream flavored ice cream. The middle toe, and a haircut. I'm going to need a haircut. She shakes her head around vigorously, letting her short and messy hair ruffle wildly around. I can see that doing it is something that she likes to do. We fall silent as Rin treads around absent-mindedly, poking around some brushes. The thought of the art club sticks in my head for a while longer. I'm feeling like I'm treading on some very unknown territory with art. The way these meetings with Rin go is though I'm starting a smoking habit or something. I should probably stop talking with her.
Ah, no you don't!
It's not like I dislike her. Despite the confusion of her being herself causes, I don't dislike art either. I've even drawn for fun sometimes. I just don't have any real creative drive or technical skill. So usually if I were to draw something, I'd get white paper syndrome or just freeze completely. That, or I'd manage to draw something disfigured and properly get frustrated at my inability to put the picture in my head down on the paper then call it quits without really even trying to make an effort. It makes one question the sanity of the act. Rin sits down on her box, swaying from side to side, apparently comfortable with the uncomfortable silence. She's staring at me again, or maybe over my shoulder. I can't even quite figure out where her eyes are focused. I'm thinking of leaving so she can carry on working undistracted, and that I can do whatever I'm going to do alone. It's not like I have anything that must be done today.
Oh, shoot!
Who?
Nobody, I just forgot to tell Hanako that Lily was looking for her. Do you know her? From my class?
Oh, her. The mystery toilet girl. That person is funny. I saw her going to the toilet 5 times during one recess 3 weeks ago. I'm sure it's a world record. It was very mysterious. That's why you call her Mysterious Toilet Girl. What other reason could there possibly be? Well, if there is, it's an eternal mystery. I didn't follow her in there. Maybe it was a week before that. Could have been. Looking at her makes me hungry. Don't say that. At least not around her. Rin turns to look at me blankly, as if she's not sure why I've reproved her. But she doesn't acknowledge my understanding any more than before. So I give up at this point. So, do you want to go eat dinner then? No, not yet. Rin has turned her hungry gaze back at the wall, looking slightly more energetic, or at least slightly less lethargic than she did before. It's as if the wall is an opponent that she has to vanquish, something she must overcome before she can indulge in dinner. This is the feeling I get. A weird sense of empathy overcomes me and makes me smile a little to myself. For all her oddity, Rin is pretty cool after all. Wow, look at that. Rin is a pretty cool girl. Whoa. I'll be going anyway. Have fun. Rin has already grasped a brush and dipping into fresh paint, so of course she can't hear me anymore. Or doesn't answer anything, even if she does. Adhering to the nurse's nagging voice in the back of my head. I set my alarm clock to wake me up early enough to go jogging again. I made a promise, and I'm going to keep it. Besides, Emmy is bound to rat on me if I don't show up. But it's not all that bad. Look at that. We are moving and grooving. A rat? What do you mean a rat, John? What do you mean? What do you mean by that? Well, yeah, we're moving along this visual novel. But only one girl can come out on top, and I gotta go down that artsy girls route. My morning alarm goes off, and I flail about uselessly for a while until I remember that I decided to give morning runs another shot. Alright, it's time to get that morning cardio pumping. This real ass bad isn't anime. This is anime. What are you talking about? I'm an anime character, and I'm reading an anime characters doing anime character-like things. It's an anime bed. What are you on about? This is as anime as you can possibly get. I don't know what you're on about. I don't know if this was my greatest idea, but I'm determined to keep going. Sure, things haven't been great for me lately, but that hasn't made existence so intolerable that I'm not going to try everything so I could stay healthy. Yeah, you might be the problem, man. You're just imagination. You're a bleak, dry canvas. You know, we just got done with all these art analogies previously. And you know, my brain is on that side right now. And you know what you are? You're just a black and white Kansas City bleak canvas right now. Why don't you, like, take your mind and put it outside the box? Stop being so logical. Why don't you think creatively for once in your life? Besides, it's all about asserting some kind of control over this thing, right? If I can manage that, well, I can manage anything. At least that's what I keep telling myself. Once again, it would appear that I'm not alone in my run. Emmy has apparently been here for some time. It looks like she's already worked up a good sweat. Just when the hell does she come down here anyway?
Oh, it's you! I'm surprised to see you again.
Why is that?
Well, not many people actually managed to come back for a second try.
She frowns, seemingly annoying by a passing thought.
Still, it was only supposed to be on a volunteer basis, so it's not that big of a shock. And I guess it's pretty early in the morning.
A shrug, and suddenly it appears that she's forgotten what she's talking about. The frown disappears entirely, and she seems to snap back to her previous train of thought.
So come on then!
What?
You're here to run again, right?
Well, yes.
So come on!
I find myself suddenly grabbed and yanked onto the track. Things seem to be mirroring yesterday's run. That it is. I seem to be struggling while Emmy moves with an effortlessness that I find enviable. It's incredibly bothersome to be so easily worn out. I know I should be patient, work towards things gradually, but it's difficult to stay positive about this. We round the track and start on our second lap. Emmy seems to have grown impatient keeping pace with me and begins to pull away. This is where I gave out yesterday. Will I be able to do more? Hell no, I'm gonna take it easy. Fuck cardio. I let Emmy go at her own pace and she doesn't show mercy, pulling half a lap ahead of me in an instant. I don't blame her. I mean, it's not if I'm really putting up any sort of real fight out here, is it? Instead, I'm just running at a steady pace, which is what I should be doing, right? There's no need to go pushing my limits at this stage of the game. As we finish the second lap, I break off again. Emmy keeps going, and it almost seems to me that she's disappointed. Well, that's stupid. I don't have anything to prove to her. Come to think of it, I've got nothing to prove to myself either. I'm just fine the way I am. And what? I'm not a runner. This is probably a bad idea. Maybe there's something else I can do instead of this. Getting up this early sucks anyways. There's got to be some other way to keep healthy. Walking, maybe. Afternoon walks. Yeah, that sounds good. Running isn't for me. I wave to Emmy and head back to my room. I'll think of something else later. Back in my row, the first thing I see is oh yeah, let's get those meds on. I see a familiar row of medication bottles lined up at the top of my dresser. It makes me depressed, as usual. It's annoying. I thought it was okay. I made my peace with this thing. I've gotten over it. But what I really did, I allowed myself to forget that I have a problem. Being here reminds me of the reality, and trying to fight against it just hurts. Reflecting on it is only going to do so much. I've done this before. For months. It seems like it's time to get over it. If I allow myself to forget that my life is definitely not going to be as long as those of others, I won't get anywhere. My life may be different from others, but it's a life in progress. That is how I rationalize it. Down the usual handful of pills, trying to push the sudden dreary feelings out of my head. Then I prepare to head out of class, early as usual. As I step in the hallway, great, it's a schizo. I notice Kenji. Oh yeah, here we go again, stealing my money, showing up in the bathroom naked, and now what does this schizo want with me? Stealthily making his way over to his own room, and with a large bag, he sneaks past me, soundlessly like a ninja. Oh yeah, that bastard owes me money. Hey! He jumps at the sound of my voice. Oh, hey man, I didn't notice you there. I'm really tired. I think it's more like he didn't see me, but that's not the issue. Where have you been this early? Shopping? No, I wasn't shopping. The math teacher, I figured it would be a good idea to find out what the next exam is. And then he tells you in advance if you want. So then, what's in the bag? I thought I'd go shopping when I went outside. I need supplies. I need to fight against the vast feminist conspiracy. Okay. I thought you didn't go outside. I wear a hat now. I decide not to point out that he's not wearing a hat. An awkward silence settles between us, and then Kenji breaks it by pushing his door open, slowly, releasing a creaking sound into the air that only makes the moment seem more awkward. He sets the bag down inside his room and then closes the door. I'm surprised you went out of your way to find out a test state. Trying to take advantage of an opportunity to study is pretty diligent. I never study. Oh.
I just wanted to know when the next test day was, and I'm just gonna take it. I need to know so I know what day. I can't afford to skip class. He usually sends out updates on the crap by the phone, so I had to step out and check up on it. And why do you have to go out when you could just get it on your phone? I don't carry a phone. What do you mean you don't carry a phone? I mean, you just had to leave it at home. Nah, I don't use phones. I don't have phones. I have no phone. Why don't you have a phone? How can you not have a phone? No phone at all? No phone? I just don't like phones. I'm kind of scared of them. I don't know why. I think it's some kind of repressed trauma. But basically, when I hear a phone, I get nervous. It's my darkest secret. Yeah, this is a Harry Potter dating sim. I have two theories on it. Either I have some fear receiving what kind of undefined, ominous, life-altering doom, or I was beaten by a phone in the past so badly that I can't remember it. Beaten in the head. Well, where else can I get beaten in the phone that would make me unable to remember it? The ass? Whoa, buddy. The ass, huh? You're getting beaten in the... Oof. Man, that's a little rough. I didn't realize you could get your ass beaten by a phone. Unexpectedly logical, I feel very depressed now, sensing this conversation is more or less over. Kenji opens his door again and prepares to head inside. Yeah, I'm going to sleep, dude. Have a good one. Class is going to start in 20 minutes. I already did something today. I'm too tired to go to school. Hey, you need some lip balm? I accidentally bought two because I thought the store had started selling individual AA batteries. Thanks, but no thanks. Whatever, man. For a change, I'm not among the first ones to the morning class. Instead, almost everyone else seems to be here already. I recognize most of my class by their faces by now, though the names escape me still. The class goes on lazily. Thank you, Gothic_Kenzie, for the follow. And welcome to the scary, spooky story hour with Katawa Shoujo, a visual novel, original English language. I think I'm starting to get into the rhythm of school. I have even stopped worrying about taking notes and being overtly attentive. The first days I was pretty high-strung in class. Muto finishes his lecture about electricity early, but continues without a pause about the festival. So, as you know, the festival is on the day after tomorrow. I hope everyone's projects are going to be successful this year. Have a good time, but also come Sunday, please keep the meaning of this festival in your minds. Games and fried food! Everyone bursts out in laughter, and so do I. Yes, thank you, Mikado. But what I meant was more, the remainder of his sentence is buried beneath the ring of the lunch bells, and everyone starts packing their things. Muto deliberates for a moment, but almost nobody seems to pay attention anymore. He gives up and sits down. It's crowded in a hallway, or as crowded as hallways in this school probably get. Most of the students seem to be heading down for the cafeteria.
Hisao! I'm going to make you a one-time only super extra special lunch offer! Emmy's homemade lunch boxes and the privilege of enjoying them in private with two bombshell beauties.
Her overly flirtatious sales pitch echoes in the hallway. A remarkable feat since it's full of people. Emmy strikes a very confident-looking pose as though she attempts to one-up her own ridiculousness, puffing her very modest chest and making the V for victory sign with her hands. Sounds delicious. To what do I owe this honor of being invited?
You stood there looking really lost and sad, so I thought you could use some company.
That is probably the most depressing reason imaginable.
So how about it? You're probably really lonely. Would I want to eat that awful cafeteria food all alone otherwise? I'm kidding! I'm kidding!
Sure, I'll have your lunch offer. With pleasure.
Let's go to the roof!
The roof? Why the roof?
Because that's where we eat lunch. And if we don't get up, and she'll probably wander off, and I just know she'll go hungry because she never packs a lunch for herself.
Who will?
Come with me!
Without answering my question or waiting for a response, she grabs me by the arm and drags me through the hallways. I attempt to make the conversation on the way. Why do you have an extra lunch?
Actually, it's yesterday's lunch. I slipped in a run at lunch and forgot to eat it.
Huh? The stairway to the roof is a little dilapidated, but it's clearly been used recently. Prince, do you mind sharing where you trained in VA? Your skills are inspiring. Well, I'm just naturally gifted, man. Whenever I did drama back in my own princely duties in school, I was always very good at it. So much so that the teacher presiding over the drama classes wanted me to stay and take much more classes. But I said, I'm not that kind of nerd. So then I said, smell you later, asshole. Yeah, right? You know, Jake, this is where you should really reflect on your life choices. I think you should reflect on them, and then I think you should do some pog faces, right? And then you should start having a bit going on. I think that would be the best idea for you, buddy. At the top of the stairs is a door, complete with a missing padlock. I wonder who the intrepid individual was that removed the lock. I tried to reflect by my mirror. It's too dirty. Well, then you should clean it. Clean your room, clean your underwear, make sure you scrub properly, or else you can't be a functioning adult in this world. How else are you supposed to be a main character in Katawa Shoujo and pick up on girls and relive places of your life that you wish you could? Huh? What are you going to do about that? You just going to sit there, loathe yourself because your mirror's too dirty? I have a dirty mirror too. You know what I did with it? A little Windex, spritz, and then I tell somebody to clean it. Maybe you should take a lesson out of my book for once. Emmy strikes me as someone who would call the cops on black people having a barbecue in a park kind of vibe. I don't get, I feel like she's the type of person that would probably go to a cookout or something, and then she'd probably find her way celebrating with them. I don't think she'd call the cops. Okay, well, thanks, Dad. Yeah, exactly. Reflect on your actions, Jake. Reflect. Reflect, repent, and just think about what you've done. Emmy shoves the door open and starts beaming into the sunlight. I think Shizune would be the type of person that would call the cops. She would probably plant something too. Suddenly, a tall, dark stranger appears out of nowhere, standing imposingly in front of us. Emmy flinches back, almost falling back down the stairs.
Yipes! You scared me, Rat!
Wait, isn't she?
Hello.
Noticing that Rin is speaking to me, Emmy looks curiously at me. Yeah, Shizune's... Come on, yeah, Shizune's a massive narc. Shizune's the type of person that who would be an undercover cop and you'd yell out 187. That's the type of bitch she is. Nah, you can't throw barbecues in the parks legally. You gotta get out the Foreman grills and extension cables and you plug them in.
You two know each other!
I look confusedly at Emmy. She's that friend of yours? Rin has turned her gaze towards the clouds, drifting above the school. I didn't know you knew this person, Emmy.
The awkward silence lasts only for a few seconds, until Emmy lets out a tiny giggle, shrugging the coincidence off.
I invited yourself for lunch. If you know him, that's just better.
Oh. Does this mean I don't get food? Or do you invite him for lunch without the lunch?
Neither. I have food for 3.
Nice thinking. They walk to the other end of the roof while I stay at the clock tower for a while, taking in the atmosphere. There's nobody else but us here. I guess the roof is not as popular as it is in other schools. A few run-down benches, tables scattered around the edges, perhaps in an attempt to make the rooftop look less desolate. The small pebbles covering the roof rattle beneath our feet. I peek through the chain-link fence to take a look at the school grounds and beyond. Students are strolling in pairs and groups around the quadrangle around the cafeteria. A few delivery trucks driving past the school towards a convenience store nearby. Somewhere... Well, Chimrar, I haven't seen you for a while, my friend. How's it going with the party of 10 raid? What's going on, guys? Welcome to my spooky, scary stream. Thank you, Failure the Stinkubus, for the follow. Hello there, my friend. What is up? Thank you for the shadow, Divvy. What games were you playing? What is happening? One of my 2... Oh, so you've played Katawa Shoujo before. Whose route did you choose first? I'd prefer if you've referred to me as Sophie. You got it. Alright, thank you for the follow, Sophie. I played Red Dead 2 for a bit, and then it was party games till I got super down bad and we got bonked. Uh-oh. You got bonked. Uh-oh. Well then I guess you're... Well, I mean, in my stream, I guess if you get down bad for whatever character's route I'm going down, then I guess you've come to... Well, I'm kind of enabling you, wouldn't I? I guess you could say that. I'm being one of those enablers. Emmy was your first, no shit, huh? Well, Hanako is my fave. We're going down Rins route. We got, I had a poll go on, and everybody seemed to have chosen Rin for the first time. I definitely won't be doing the other girls' routes. But Rin got chosen first, and, you know, I gotta kind of like... Rin hurt me in the heart, but I love hers too. Yeah, you know, I'm trying my best with voice acting right over here, but, you know, we're doing what we can. Definitely, we're doing what we can. So we'll see if I can get a 100% true ending for her. They're all so super well written, and the whole game is amazing considering it was made by people from 4chan. Yeah, those silly KS devs. Made from 4chan of the 4-Leaf Clover website. What a silly little place. Have you held toes with Rin yet? I've not held toes with Rin. I think I played this for like 5 hours on Tuesday, Mary Post. I ended it when my voice started dying. Whenever Misha comes on screen, I do like a really over-the-top, like, annoying nuisance of a Valley Girl accent. And, yeah, 4chan. What a funny place that is, huh? I've never browsed that website in my life. Never. I only browse dig.com and I look on Facebook posts for whatever I need to do. Or Twitter. Those are my hotspots. Or the Vaporeon copy pasta? Yeah, it's a home of a lot of co-pipes. It's got a lot of characters in it, too. A lot of fascinating people. You never know if you might find one or not. Also, a lot of irony. Somehow, when I look towards the town center, the small town
feel strikes me very strongly, almost palpably. The hectic lifestyle of a big metropolis seems so far away and foreign here, nobody has to run to catch a bus and like their life dependent on it, or get their senses overloaded by the neon lights and traffic jams. I feel surprisingly optimistic about this new life of mine, looking at my hometown, even if it's going to be mine for only one short year. Finding out about my illness and having to move away from home all came so suddenly. I haven't even had time to think about how I feel about it. When I step out of the shadow of the clock tower to the open, I feel warmth touching my back. The sun shines from a perfectly clear, cerulean sky. A cool breeze sweeping over the rooftop makes me shiver, but only briefly. The wind carries the scent of the trees and flowers, not smog and car exhaust like it used to, just a few weeks ago. Emmy settles on a bench with Rin in tow and produces one big and two small lunch boxes from her bag. 4chan was fairly different back. Yeah, it was better back then. It was a lot more. It was at the height of creativity, I would say. I think it was during a golden year. Now it's kind of just a shadow of itself, I would say. It's not the big bad boss of the internet as people like to believe, or people like to post about and get spooked about.
Come on, Lisa! What are you waiting for?
She's beckoning me to join them, making room on the already small bench. I seat myself on the corner of the bench to take as little space as possible. It's pretty cramped, but somehow all three of us fit in on it. Impressive view. Emmy suppresses a giggle, places a lunchbox in front of Rin, and hands another lunchbox to me.
Here you go, just promised.
I was in a Bandori fan Discord out of all things with the artist for this, and I think he said most of the team doesn't go there at all anymore. No, they don't. Some of them have moved on. One of them who made Hanako's route, she's a light novel artist, and the other, her sister, she does a lot of commissions, her own like Twitter and stuff. And one of them dropped off the face of the earth, did some art endeavors. I don't think one of the writers of Rins writer doesn't use Twitter anymore, and yeah, they don't shill their game like they used to. And boy, they would shill this damn thing constantly. Homemade, no less. I'm impressed. Wow, this looks really good.
Thanks. I make them myself when I can.
Conversation dies off as I set about the business of feeding myself. Taking a few bites, I glance up and notice Rin deftly opening the lunchbox and popping a fork full of food into her mouth using only her feet. Even though I've seen it before, I can't help but be impressed by her dexterity. It's also a reminder of the sort of place I'm in right now. Will I ever get used to sights such as this? I can't decide if getting used to such a thing would be a good thing or a bad thing either. Does getting used to this place mean that I'm giving up on being a normie? Or does that just mean that I'm becoming more understanding about those around me? Not gonna lie, after playing Rin's route, I actually tried to use my feet for some small things, just to see how much trouble it must have been for her. Did you find out that she was a very skilled girl, and that she does a lot of this crazy shit with her painting and living her life like that? I'm distracted from my thoughts about the sight of Emmy tearing into her lunch as if it had been insulted her ancestors. You seem pretty hungry. Emmy looks up, mouth half full, and swallows before nodding.
My morning runs always work up an appetite. Which is great, because then I burn through lunch pretty quickly. Helps me keep my girlish figure.
I use my feet to pick things off the floor, open doors if I get
if I got my hands busy. Is that weird? Nah, I do that all the time. Oh yeah, all I can really do is open doors and pick up, so anything more is a shit ton of effort. Did any of you, whenever you'd go upstairs, you'd like get on your like hands and legs and like go up like an animal? Like whenever I would go upstairs, I get on my feet and my legs and I run up the stairs like an animal. I feel like I get a lot more speed that way. What would happen if you'd lose it? Would you become a man? I very nearly choke on my lunch, trying not to laugh. You leap up them 3 at a time? I sometimes do, like, strides, right? I like to do the strides sometimes upstairs. I feel like doing, like, the little bit of, like, a good old stride up, like, 3 or 2 blocks feels, like, really good.
It's a figure of speech.
Does your figure have to run in the mornings, too? Do you always talk like this?
Talk like what?
Have you ever tried to trot like the horse girl from YouTube, Prince? I actually tried that once when I first saw that video. It was hard. It was actually legitimately tough. It's amazing what you can do in the nurturing stage of a human being's life. You can almost train a human being to think that they're like... Well, actually, that's what feral children are, right? But it's pretty impressive that they could be trained that way. I think that answers my question. Never mind. So, I struggle to think of a small talk and settle on the obvious question. How'd you two meet? Rin seems content to let Emmy answer this question.
Someone in the housing department thought that we'd complement each other well, so we were assigned rooms next to one another.
Complement each other? Like shoes and a suit. Oh. Emmy giggles at my confusion.
Put us together, and we've all got our limbs. Get it?
Ah.
So I started helping Rin get ready in the mornings, and that was that. I mean, you can't help someone get dressed every morning and not get along.
I see. Rin chooses this moment to interject and let her know that that's in fact not the Linux, but in fact GNU/Linux, in that Linux is indeed the kernel on an entire operating system. And it runs on GNU architecture. Thanks, Richard Stallman. I have trouble with shirts. Right. That seems fairly obvious. Really? Kind of? This isn't helping, but at least Emmy seems to find this whole thing funny. That, combined with the fact that Rin is genuinely curious, makes me feel slightly better yet confused. I mean, you've got no arms. So, putting on a shirt seems like one of those things that would be difficult? You know what? I'm just gonna stop talking now. It'll save me a lot of trouble in the long run. Rin nods in what I suspect is meant to be a sage manner. I see. The conversation dies as I turn my attention back on my lunch. It's really quite good. Emmy finishes her lunch first and it makes a contented noise.
Ah, that was good!
As she busies herself with cleaning up her lunch, Rin speaks up. I'm thirsty.
Oh, I almost forgot about that. Sorry.
With a flourish, she reaches into her bag and removes a trio of juice boxes. She tosses me one that appears to be the cranberry juice, one to Rin that appears to be some kind of strawberry milk complete with the pink color scheme, and keeps an equally pink box of some kind of fruit punch for herself. Rin dexterously stabs her through the top of her straw through the top of her box and begins to drink. I am once again impressed by how flexible she is, but this time I keep my comment to myself. Somehow, I don't think either Emmy or Rin are the sorts of people that think twice about the way they work around their particular disabilities. Rin especially so. Indeed, she gives off that impression of being entirely unaware that she's missing any limbs at all. Whether or not that's a conscious decision is another matter. I'm honestly not sure.
Sorry, so, how do you like it up here?
I wish the other Rin had no arms too. Which other Rin, pig? Which other Rin? Ah, you want to get banned from my stream there, buddy? Are you talking about the Zero View? You talking about Zero View Rin? The one that's trying to be an epic, trying to make himself like a epic mainstay, is like some vicious troll on WVT. That one? The Zero and Only. Yeah, actually, funny story about that. When I was in, I've done 2 collabs with him, and one was when it was with T Bison, because I forgot who he asked to join him, but the other was with when I was caught, Trash Chan like a while back when she had her birthday party. Her and Rin purposely set up a stream trap against me so they could like get me not to talk and just try to see if they can like rile me up. So part of the birthday was like her trying to, set me up for something. And I remember that like when I was talking to Rin, it was so easy to why are you bonking her? Chime, why are you bonking this Rin? That's not nice of you. You're gonna face the consequences for that, buddy. I'll think about the consequences to make you. You're bonking our leading lady right now. I will fight your ass, nerd. I'm gonna kick your ass. I gotta defend my maiden of honor. Yeah, I'm gonna kick your damn ass, bitch. It's gonna be me versus you, motherfucker. Just because you're short? Yeah, I bet. You know what I'll do? You know what? I'll go find, like, the local locker at the YMCA, stuff you in there with some gym shorts that have been fermenting there for quite some time. I'll let you think about your actions. Oh, yeah. Let me tell you, fermented gym shorts, nothing to scoff at. I've had to clean that up before. It smells as bad as you might think it might. That's your usual Saturday night? You're smelling fermented gym shorts? Well, man, that has quite a sense. I'll tell you that much. That's quite the Saturday night. Well then, I guess I'd be doing you a service. So what I'll do is I'll spray it with some Febreze, so you get like a vanilla scent on top of the shit. Rin's route is unironically the best. She's the third one I tried, and I stopped playing together after I finished hers. So when Katawa Shoujo first got released, let me give a history. This game was shilled endlessly on one of my favorite places to post on the internet. Like, there would be threads after threads after threads. To the point that one of our local heroes, local onion smuggler, didn't like this. And he was getting annoyed with this too, because he was shitting out original English language visual novels on the Renpai engine left and right, which I do plan on playing. And, he, along with other local eccentric figures, we decided we didn't like it when the KS devs kept kind of shilling. And this kind of became a meme in itself. And actually, the painting that I talked to you about, my nightmares, that would get posted endlessly. So much so that it's kind of like an ironic joke now. But the devs would always shill every single day. And it'd talk about how it's one of the greatest original O-Elvens ever made,
possibly topping other Japanese ones, this, that. It was like relentless. And I can even say this as somebody that probably would even make a many off-topic posts myself. I definitely could say that even I got kind of sick of it because they were kind of getting in the way of my off-topic posting. And it was, you know, I was trying to save everybody. I'm a hero. I'm a hero through and through. All I do is save things. Never try to defeat. I'm a savior. But I will say this. If I had to give an unbiased opinion, the character that I fancy the most would probably have to be Hanako. So it's a 2 versus 1 with that pig. If I had to choose one. If I had to choose a design. So 2v1 for that, buddy. It's quite nice, actually. I like high places for the view. Thanks for inviting me up here. Baking crisps isn't a disorder. She has anxiety, man. Come on. She's got a lot of anxiety. She's got to take, you know, some Xanax. You know, actually, unironically, high anxiety can actually be solved pretty well. I was actually gonna see if I can do like a stream or like a twit longer about this. Actually, one of the best nootropics in order to utilize this for any type of social anxiety places for any streamer is Phenibut HCl. And what that does is you take 1 to 2 grams twice a week so you don't get addicted to it. And what it does is it links your GABA receptors up in a similar way that getting drunk on alcohol does, hence the name Liquid Courage. Soviets actually would utilize this before astronauts would go into space during a lot of their missions so they would calm down them and their anxiety. It makes you a little bit more sociable, and it gets rid of a lot of brain fog. It's pretty interesting. What you could do, you could pair that up with a stimulant, and then after that, you pair that up with Phenibut, and then you have yourself a recipe for success with utilizing brain hacks, quote unquote. But it also is addictive too, so maybe I shouldn't tell the other VTubers about drug usage, about how to up your efficiency. Or maybe I should. Whatever would probably cause the most funnies. Emmy grins, 1,000-watt grin. Pleased by my response, I suppose. VTubers doping? You'd be surprised. If they found out how to do an ephedrine caffeine aspirin stack or the Phenibut HCl, you would see some disgustingly long streams. I wouldn't be surprised if some know how to get their hands on Adderall. There's 2 that I feel have Adderall prescriptions, and some of them are absurdly their endurance to stream long hours are insane. It's insane. It's holy crap, how do you stream that long? This is the 12+ hour mark. You gotta take something that involves any type of stimulant or precursor to methamphetamine, especially Addy, because even, I have low energy mostly because of my long work hours, and just cutting just to ensure that my physique is on point. Oh yeah, that's I reach my limits 10 hours being in a caloric deficit, and then at the last I have 15 minutes of a burst of energy, and then I go down swinging. I go straight to my bed and I just go, I'm done. And then I don't even have time to shitpost. It sucks.
No problem. Feel free to eat with us next time too, okay?
Hey, if you have an endless well of energy, that's perfect.
I won't make you lunch, but you can bring your own up here.
No lunch service? I don't know. Emmy looks mock offended.
Trying to take advantage of my good nature. The nerve!
She giggles.
Well, if that's your answer, I guess Ren and I will just keep eating lunch all alone.
God, I wish. They assigned me back to my graveyard shift. My energy levels are high at night, but absolutely trash at morning. Can't even shitposting. I am not a morning person. I hate the mornings. I hate it. I hate it. During quarantine, I was actually able to wake up in the morning somehow, and I was able to have like early morning streams. I don't know how the fuck I did it, but I definitely don't have that anymore. My sleep quality, when you're... mornings suck. I'll just say this to you guys. If you guys were ever into a fitness aspect that requires you to have a good physique and you have to be a certain body fat requirement and you are doing a deficit, over time what happens is your hormones start lowering. It's pretty normal. Like, the lower percentage you get, the lower the effects you have, like testosterone output and all this type of stuff. It's actually pretty interesting, but it affects sleep quality too. So usually if I have to go in the morning, I usually have piss poor sleep. I'll sleep for 2 hours, then I have to wake up early, and then I go until the middle of the night. And I'm a night owl, so I just can't stand the midday. I'm an 18-20 hour awake a day guy. I have no energy for the first couple hours, but after that, the gremlin comes out. I'm kind of like, I'm pretty consistent throughout the day. Yeah, we get that little workout. That's good. That means you're getting a little bit of endorphin and serotonin in. I wish I could say the same, but I'm hindered. Does getting ripped help with sleep quality? Yes, it does, actually. The reason being is that you'll secrete less cortisol, more testosterone in your body, and more serotonin and dopamine, and what that does is that provides you more energy. Also, getting adequate vitamin D3 helps with sleep quality as well. And also ensuring that your melatonin levels are appropriate. Oh, why are you hitting Rin like that? That's not nice of you. Don't hit her. I'm trying to romance her. You're making me look bad. I'm trying, like, her and me right now, you know. We got something special going on here. Watch, let me sniff her a little bit. Let me sniff her. Oh yeah, Rin, you smell real good. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. She smells like paint. Oh god, that's like sniffing paint. Being fit generally just means a lot of stuff for you is better living quality-wise. Yeah, it does. Yeah, there's definitely a time and place for it is. If you go in for vanity purposes and you try to get down to certain vanity levels, you do end up kind of paying the consequences for that. Like, especially if you have like a 12-hour plus day and, you know, part of your job is you have to look good. Like, how do you even fit exercise in your schedule? Well, I do have the ability to lift whenever I please. The problem is that I'm a busy person, so I take 2 to 3 hours out of my day and I lift. I generally lift 5 times a week, and I regulate all of it myself. But I'm at kind of the last week where I need to cut down on my volume and intensity, and I need to lower everything so I can recover a little bit better. But this is why I dislike people who do bodybuilding for looks alone. Well, there is like, there's an up and down for it, right? Like, bodybuilding itself is very difficult because it's primarily genetics, how adept you are. Gotta use Uber instead of Lyft, sir. The thing with bodybuilding is it's very tough to get into. Yes, it is. You have to jam it immediately and make it a routine. You have to make sure that you have a one-track mind for it. There's like 3 different types of lifters. There's people that do it for the sake of health. There's people that do it because they want to achieve a goal. And then there's people that have gone above the goal and they want to compete for purposes. I'm that third person. But I do physical fitness for both strength, looks, and kind of like I have a kick out of it. It keeps me even. If I didn't have it, if I didn't have strength or hypertrophy training, I would be a very, very vicious creature. And I would definitely say I would need to take meds. A VTuber muscle milk competitor. But yeah, bodybuilding itself is a very, very tough kind of thing to get into. you either have the genetics to do it and you put your body suffering with drug abuse, or you think that going into the natty federations are good enough. But cutting weight, getting down to single-digit low body fat percentage is fucking hard. A lot of people overestimate what their actual body fat percentages are. Yeah, no, it's a great practice. I do it because I'm a competitive person and I like to see myself, I'm a numbers guy. I just want my mental focus back, can't concentrate and just waste my free time. Lifting isn't a waste. If you do it properly, then you can actually have a good routine set up and you can structure your workouts. You don't even have to go 4 times a week. I go 5 times a week because I'm not a normal person and I don't have normal genetics. I go 5 times a week because I know I can auto-regulate, do these stupid little overzealous programming advanced shit that I do, and make sure that I'm all tailored for it. Yeah. I mean, hey, I do it for pretty much a variety of reasons. I like the science aspect of it too. Especially when you get the good science aspect of it. When you read into that type of shit, that's a whole different ballgame. And then also kind of the culture. I mean, it does help with getting your shit together. It might make your little tism a little less clouded, pig. I would look into getting into a little bit of fitness. I think it's good for really anybody. Like, you don't even have to go an hour. Like, 45 minutes or 30 minutes of your day. Unless you're a G like Congo who has, like, a home gym that he can, like, go whenever he wants. But I would look into getting into that type of stuff.
Well, if that's your answer, I guess Rin and I will just keep eating all lunch alone.
I'm suddenly assaulted by the most heart-rending puppy dog eyes I've ever seen as Emmy pouts. Kidding? I was kidding! I'd love to eat lunch up here again. Good location, and the company's okay too. Emmy frowns a bit about my declaration of okay, but seems happy enough that I've accepted her invitation. Is the California Sushi Baking Farms Fitboard lying? It's a... Fit is kind of... they're kind of a garbage They're kind of garbage for information. I would suggest... everybody starts off there, but the problem is once you get smarter about programming and you get advanced, you don't really have anybody that's smart enough on there that knows, like, what to do when you reach certain levels. They're kind of dumb. And most of all, like, the good trip code users there, they don't really, like, post much anymore, and they're the ones that have made a lot of, like, good progress. It's pretty piss poor. But the only thing they'll really tell you about is how to get a good beginner routine. And I wouldn't even suggest following a typical linear program like starting strength unless you add a heaping helping full of bodybuilding accessories. Because if there's one thing that you should know early on in a lifting career is, do not just stick to SPD. I would do multiple kind of bodybuilding lifts because you want to fill out your frame in your first year of lifting as much as you possibly can. Because then you'll get a few years past and you'll be like, wow, did I just fuck around and waste my time because I'm not filling out what I should be doing? And then you kind of like start to like really look at yourself physique-wise. It's like, I could be at a leaner, healthier body fat percentage at like 10 to 15%, or I could be 19, 20% without that extra bit of muscle that I could have. And muscle's a suit of armor. Yeah. First year should always spent doing linear progression. First 6, what the? Oh, pig. Lifting is a long time spear, dude. You don't just get gains unless you are ready to abuse TRT or, like, steroids, my friends. Maybe you should ask Fraud. Maybe that would be the only place I'd tell you to go to. If you really don't care about getting, like, your newbie gains in, go take steroids, take TRT, take test, take DECA, take whatever you want. Go ask them a few questions about getting into drug use. I have no clue. I'm natural, so I can't really help you with that. I do know the names of it, though. But that will fast track you into gains. But then you have to keep up with it and then pretty much be on TRT for the rest of your life, because then you'll have hypogonadal syndrome and your hormones won't really do what they do. but your alertness will definitely go up. Tests like that, oh yeah, abusing those drugs, you'll definitely be very alert. You do a heavier stuff, you're gonna want to bang everything that moves. That's pretty much what happens when you decide to hop on and leave humanity and leave normal humans. I guess this makes us friends now. Or at least acquaintances. The lunch bell rings, signaling in a return downstairs.
Rand, you didn't finish your lunch again.
I wasn't that hungry.
If you don't eat anymore, you're going to fade away.
Rin shrugs as if this is an acceptable risk. Come on, we'd better get going. The three of us head downstairs together. The afternoon class passes. Once again, I find myself without a plan for something to do after school, so I head to the library to return a couple of books I finished reading. Walking inside, I see that there are about as many students here as there were on Tuesday, all the more evident from the almost total silence enveloping the room. As I drop the books I borrowed in the return slots in the counter, Yuko suddenly pops up from behind it, quite startled from the banging they'd make as they hit the trolley next to her. Sorry, Yuko. I didn't mean to startle you.
No. That's fine. It happens a lot. I'm used to it by now. Can I help you?
It's okay. I think I know where everything is. Thanks anyway. I suppose I'll grab another book or two while I'm here. There's not much else to do, and after reading so much during my stay at the hospital, it's become a hard habit to break. I wander down the fiction section towards the back of the library, scanning bookshelves for anything that catches my eye. As I look over the corner where Hanako's been the last time I was here, not really expecting anything to come of it. Well, Chime, look, it's your favorite girl. Surprisingly, though, she's there, absorbed completely in a fairly thick book. I decide against intruding on her like last time, and get back to finding reading material. After an indiscernible amount of time perusing the aisles, I finally decide on a couple of books to get and slide them off the shelf. With a minimum of fuss, I quickly walk over to the counter, check out my books, and pop them into my bags as I walk out. By the time I leave the main building, sunset isn't too far away. A small trickle of students remain, but the majority have left, presumably, to their homes and dorms. I guess I need to buy some supplies. I can't live off cafeteria food and eating out for my entire stay here. As I leave for the gate, I make a few loud stretches to try and stave off the tiredness that's accumulated over the weeks. After passing through the corner, I see a solitary figure walking downhill towards the small town below. The color of her hair and tapping of her cane are unmistakable. I quickly walk up to her, which seems to catch her attention without a word needing to be said. Hi, Lily. You don't like Lily? Why? What's your beef? You don't like Ojo-sama's? She takes a moment to place the voice, slightly adjusting her head to face a bit more towards the source of my voice as she does. You played her out? That's why you don't... Ah, okay.
Hisao?
Yep, that's me. She seems to have a good memory for voices. The fact that she's actually remembered is a pleasant surprise.
Good evening. What brings you here?
Once again, she gives me a small, polite bow. And, once again, I reply in kind before realizing that I needn't do so. Just going into town, you...
My. What a coincidence.
Doing the same thing, eh?
I usually go shopping on Fridays.
She pauses for a moment, suddenly looking a little lost.
That said,
Hanako usually comes into town with me.
Not lost, but worried. The two do seem to keep pretty close tabs on one another. It's kind of surprising that Hanako would just forget Lily like that. I noticed her reading in the library. She probably just got caught up in a book. She let a small sigh of relief.
Thank you. She has a habit of doing that.
Avid reader.
Right. She doesn't like being around crowds of people, so reading away from everyone lets her relax a bit.
Although she probably didn't intend on it, I can't help but grimace as I recall my first meeting with her. Hardly wanting to bring it up, I remain silent as we continually walk down the quiet road. Tack, 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 tack. With the road bereft of cars, and the students of Yamaku increasingly far behind us, the quiet rushing of the leaves and the measured tapping of Lily's cane against the sidewalk are all that can be heard. It's kind of nice, especially compared to the hustle and bustle where I used to live. Before I know, I've relaxed so much that a loud yawn escapes before I can control it.
Tired?
Yeah, I've been running ragged these past few days. That's an understatement, to be sure. Transferring into a different school would be bad enough, but nothing like this.
Well, hopefully everything should settle down for you. The festival's got everyone in a spin right now, and you've been plucked right in the middle of things.
For a moment I hesitate, but given her apparent tolerance for frankness, I decide to give my full thoughts. I guess Yamaku's kind of different though. I mean the formality surrounding everything, the isolation around it. Not to mention the most obvious difference. It's kind of a whole different mindset. I suppose I'll get used to it though in time. She gives a matter-of-fact nod, apparently pleased with my answer. It feels almost as if she's included me in the flock of students she's shepherding, along with class 3-2 and Hanako. Well, it's not I mind, I mean, it's nice to get thoughts off my chest. In any case.
Looking on the bright side, no one could see it as a chance for a new beginning. You should cherish the ability to make new friends.
That's optimistic. Nonetheless, it's good to have a positive attitude about such things, I suppose. I guess that's a good take on it. Walking down the road, she seems to become somewhat unsettled. Before I can ask what's on her mind, she seems to collect herself and speaks about something else.
So, where in town were you going?
That's actually a pretty good question. I'd come to buy food, and the layout of the place is still totally foreign to me. I intended to just wander about and see if I could find it, but with the sunset already approaching and nightfall not too far away, that doesn't seem very wise. I'm gonna have to ask her for directions again. I was just going to get some food. By now that you mentioned, I don't really know the way.
Well now, this is quite lucky. I was just about to go to the convenience store myself.
Looks like I'll be in your care again then. Together we walk to the store. My pace is carefully slowed to remain beside her. Compared to my usual walking pace, hers is quite a bit slower. Not that it's without reason. After what? We couldn't be more than several minutes. I catch sight of our objective. This town is pretty small. Without further ado, we make our way inside and greeting from the counter.
Mind if I tag along with you? Usually Hanako would help me, but seeing as she's not here...
It'd take a moment before I realize what she means. Considering she wouldn't be able to read any of the labels and shopping without any help, would be a big pain for her. That said, I can't shake the feeling she had this idea since I was coming here. Sure, it'd be my pleasure. I grabbed 2 well-used red baskets from the small stack beside the entrance, handing one to Lily. She lays on the ground, putting her school bag in, retracting her cane and sliding it through the basket's handles before picking it back up in her right hand. Wait, she doesn't use her cane. Before I can complete the thought, she comes beside me and pinches the cuff of my uniform with her slender fingers. Oh my.
Is this alright?
Sure. I have no reason not to accept. I can think of worse things than shopping with the pretty girl holding on to me, even if it's out of necessity. Yeah. We navigate our way through the store, and not one of them occasionally passing customers seem to bat an eyelid. Considering how close Yamaku is, I guess seeing students from there must be entirely normal for local residents. As we reach aisle, I quickly check with Lily and find out what she needs. I grab it along with what I'm looking for and put our items in their respective baskets. I guess it's the same routine she and Hanako follow every Friday. Right, all that's left is the bread, and that should be my shopping done. Do you need anything else, Lily?
No, this should be everything.
Off we go, then. With a quick side trip to the bakery section, we make our way to the registers. The line, thankfully, is almost non-existent. It's not long before we're both paid our food and are out the door. As Lily retrieves her cane and extends it to full length, I waste a minute looking upwards at the night sky while holding both our bags. For a moment, I try to make clouds with my breath. The summer's heat doesn't seem to cooperate. Eventually, she rights herself, taking a quick stretch before taking her bag and leaving me to my two. You tired as well? Oh, they're conveniently at a 7-Eleven or Oramart. Huh.
The festival preparations have been complete chaos. Shizune breathing down my neck doesn't exactly help things either.
Hey, she's only trying to get everything organized. Better now than later, right?
I suppose. I'm going to enjoy relaxing in town tomorrow, that's for certain.
I guess the festival preparations must be taking the toll on both of them. We walk out to the quiet street, talking between ourselves as we carry our bags of food and supplies from the store. Wait, what's that? I notice a very distinctive figure making its way to us, silhouetted by the street lamps. For a second, I think it's another male student from my class, but it's he, or should I say, she gets closer. I recognize that bulge. Rin? What are you doing out here so late?
Rin.
Lily perks her head, looking like she's trying to focus on listening more. Keenly, it suddenly comes to me that I should probably interpret the scene for her. It's Rin. Tezuka. I think that's what's her last name. From our school. She stiffens at the name again, gives a complicated-looking expression, something like a forced fusion of composed smile and a painful cringe. Oh, are you cringing at the art student?
Ah, I understand.
I guess Lily knows Rin too. Rin turns to look at us, terribly out of it. I'm not entirely sure if she recognized either of us, or at least she doesn't acknowledge it if she does. She looks like a zombie. Or a statue. A statue of a zombie. But slowly, some symptoms understanding seem to lighten her dark eyes. This is something she must react to. Rin blinks once. Very thoroughly. Hello. There is an awkward pause, everyone waiting for someone else to say something. What are you doing here this late? I was wondering that about myself too, just now. Some people just asked that before. I assumed they were wondering the same. I didn't know. They didn't know either. I asked. That's why I'm wondering. So, that's pretty much it. It's murder mystery without a murder. They were going that way. She turns facing to her right in order to demonstrate that direction the other people went, as if it was important. Then rotates back like a mechanical puppet in one of those overly complicated clockworks. For a person who gives an important being the quiet type, Rin really does use a lot of words to say things that don't need a lot to be said. Unsure if she's finished, I say nothing. Neither does Lily, who seems equally robbed of words for the time being. I think that both of us are in fact just scared that any response might provoke her to continue.
Our stupefied lack of reaction doesn't faze Rin at all. She keeps looking at us expectantly, a calm hint of expression on her blank face. She seems to be that kind of person, always so relaxed. As if a bull elephant grade sedatives were flowing through her veins in the place of blood.
Do you have amnesia? I don't recall you having anything of the sort, though.
No, I don't think it's that. The other passerby was probably just worried you really look lost, where you're standing in the middle of the street.
Oh, I see. Maybe I should have taken some other turn. Some other pose, in that case.
I ponder for a while whether I should chase this angle further or give up for the sake of my own sanity. I decide on the latter. It seems that most of the time it's better not to read too deeply in what Rin is babbling about. Talking with Rin is like playing chess with a supercomputer who does seemingly completely random moves as if to mock everything you know about chess. It's like that except with human interaction. And even if I win, it feels like losing. Damn, it's just like Kenji said. Even when I win, I lose. Is this the power of the girls of Yamaku? I push the thought aside, too dangerous to consider further. It's probably just Kenji's anti-female propaganda, getting to me during my moment of weakness. Yeah, maybe just another pose might have worked. So anyway, you have no idea what you're doing here. She frowns, looking extremely displeased at either my question, its consequences, or the answer she's about to give.
I do have some idea. I can't really tell what kind of idea. That sounds like progress, at least.
Lily sounds as if she's spotted an opening for some kind of discernibly normal conversation. I can't say I share her optimism.
Yes, there's some, definitely. The rest will come later. I'm sure of it. I always have reasons.
The ensuing silence kills Lily's hope all too visibly. That didn't last long. Rin, as far as I can tell, unbased, assurances aside, what should be done? We could just leave her to her own devices, whatever those are. It's late, and I don't think I will be getting any thanks if Rin found standing there here in the middle of the night. Which she probably will, unless she manages to remember what she'll be doing here in the first place. As for me trying to guess what might have been going on in her mind when she decided to embark on this adventure, this chance seemed to be on par with winning the lottery. Several times in a row. Lily is oddly quiet, too. I'd appreciate some support from the sidelines here. Especially if she's more familiar with Rin than I am. But it can't be helped. It seems her familiarity with Rin is exactly why she's staying subdued. So, I assume you're going somewhere, not coming back to the school. Any idea where? Her eyes widen in shock, and she jolts back in a somewhat artificial way, making it seem like an act rehearsed for situations like this.
Are you a mind reader? Is that your disability? How unique.
No. What? Why would you think that?
You knew what I was doing.
It's just an educated guess. We walked in the same street in the other direction. Just before, to get to the store. If you were going to school, we would have met you on the way.
Oh.
She looks a little disappointed. Like Kenji, Rin appears quick to jump to completely irrational conclusions. Maybe it's something in the water here. I make a mental note to stock up on soft drinks. You know, that's the second time this week someone asked if I was a mind reader. Do I really get off that impression? Rin shrugs her shoulders, which is all the answer I get. You know.
Maybe you should come back with us, back to the school.
Lily interjects just as I'm about to further debunk my alleged mind reading capabilities. She sounds rather concerned, the paper-thin smile on her face badly disguising that fact. Maybe she came to the same conclusion as I did. For everyone's sake, I decided to let my mind reading topic drop, as it's entirely inane anyway. Yeah, Lily's right. If you can't remember, there's no point in staying here.
Rin considers this rather simple deduction for a moment, then nods. Okay. We start towards the school again, having wasted way more time than necessary with this episode. Rin walks along the edge of the sidewalk in her rhythmic way, looking like a mix of a sleepwalker or rope dancer, while Lily keeps one hand on my shoulder, tapping the ground with her cane. Tap, step, a step, a step, 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 step. Apart from that and a few fragmented beginnings of a conversation, it's quiet. A quiet quite apart from relaxing one into town at that. So, how's the mural going? We're going to get bad luck. Never talk about works in progress.
I'm sure it'll be wonderful.
Bad luck. Tap, a step, a step, step. She doesn't care to talk about it. Lily's politeness feels out of place for the first time. Step, a step, a step. The hill Yamaku rests on top is surprisingly steep, going uphill. We slow the pace, but I still feel my pulse rising, and breathing getting heavier. Almost there, I can see the gates already. More than that, though, I notice that Lily's hand slightly tightens on my shoulder, interpreting it as a gesture that she wants to ask something, so I speak up. Anything wrong, Lily? I resist my urge to say, aside from our traveling companion, but only just. For a moment, she seems to debate whether she should even bring it up, but goes for it anyway.
Is everything alright?
Alright? How do you mean? The fact that I can't interpret her extremely vague question puts her off for a second.
It's just... you seem unusually tired, I guess.
Now that she brings it up, I notice that my breathing is strangely heavy. The uphill walk has really done a job on me. It's alright, I just need to catch my breath. My condition isn't the best these days.
Oh. Is it something related? That to you being transferred here? I mean...
She cuts herself off rather abruptly, maybe realizing she was being a bit intrusive. Her instincts are sharp though, and while I don't like the subject, it's not like I should lie about it. If it's Lily, I don't think I mind. I'm just a little weak for the time being.
Hanako said you look fairly healthy, so I naturally thought...
Lily doesn't finish her sentence again, letting it trail off with a measure of concern. As she furrows her brow, Lily's uncomfortable expression spurs me to say at least something to ease her feelings. It's surprising she's this flustered, considering her straightforward attitude with her own blindness. She must know that not all share her own comfort about such things. No, it's okay. I have a pretty... I guess the best way to put it would be messed up heart. Arrhythmia. I've had a bad heart since a while ago, and because of it I spent most of the spring in the hospital. Ended in Yamaku on doctor's orders. She silently nods her head in acknowledgement. My answer, though, only seems to make Lily furrow her brow further. She doesn't seem to quite know how to react, given that we don't really know each other that well. I can't really fault her for it. I have the exact same reaction. While I do want to assuage her concern, I really don't want to dwell on it either. Don't worry about it. I try to offer a reassuring smile, then I realize the futility. Without knowing this, Lily smiles at me reassuringly but doesn't say anything further. Arriving at the dorm, Rin stops in front of her mural as if lightning struck her. She had been so quiet almost the walk back that I'd forgotten all that she was here. It's Friday, isn't it?
Yes. Friday, the 8th of June.
This is bad.
Bad? Why?
I think I'm going to go in a fetal position and throw up. Possibly in reverse order.
Is something wrong?
No, nothing's wrong. It's Friday, and nothing is wrong yet. The mural, it's going to need to be finished by Sunday. So everything's alright. Do you have any drugs? Or a time machine? This is not good. Not good. So she's behind her schedule, recalling Shizune's exasperation at Rin's carefree attitude several days ago. I don't know what to think. She has left herself open for I told you so unless she can pull off whatever she needs to pull off by Sunday morning. Rin keeps staring at her mirror, looking mortified as she can. Leave me. I'm going to need to work for a while. I glance at Lily, expecting to share an incredulous look with me as I roll my eyes, but then I realize she's not one to do that kind of thing. Leave me. We do, of course, not wanting to aggravate her any more than she already is. There's a churning bad feeling in my gut. Rincher has a knack of making people feel worried about her. She seems like a person who should never be left alone. Yeah, she needs a constant wrangler around her. Can you imagine that? Somebody trying to wrangle you like this? That's nuts. Maybe we should call someone. She sounded like she was going into shock or something. I'm sure she'll just be fine. She's just, how to say... Lily cocks her head a little, trying to find a polite way of calling her crazy, without calling her batshit. Unique. Yes, a very unique person. I guess you could say that. She giggles at the notion melodiously, nodding in agreement. Sorry about leaving you stranded as you talk to her. I don't really understand her, so I keep my distance. So my guess was right. Lily offers a slight apologetic smile as if she was sorry that her own shortcomings had prevented her from becoming closer to Rin. I'm not one to blame her at all. Lily lets slip a long breath, probably disguised yawn. I imagine she's exhausted by all this, as I am. I'd better leave now and give these to Hanako. Thank you for the company, Hisao. She smiles very sweetly at me. It feels different than normal, despite the fact that she seems to be smiling so often. I can't put my finger on what the difference is. It's just different. Relaxed, I'd say, but that's just relief getting rid of Rin. Maybe. Yeah. Good night. Say hi to Hanako for me. I will. Good night. Wow, I'm really moving through this route. I haven't even gotten into, like, Rin's bulk of it. I haven't gotten to, like, the bulk of her story at all yet. Jesus. The students roll into class for the Saturday morning session, each and every one of them sporting the tired eyes of people who have worked through the night. With only a day left to prepare, I suppose it's not so surprising. Thankfully, we only have to suffer through classes until the lunch break, and then our time is our own. Muto lurches into class as a tired straggler. I suppose the students aren't the only people here that enjoy their late Friday nights. Without saying a word, he scrolls through some pages and answers questions on the board and slumps down in his desk. It's completely atypical behavior for him, but it appears that no one in this class is going to call him out. Wordlessly, the students shuffle their textbooks into position and get to work. Not wanting to break the trend, I do the same. Yeah, I wish I had this guy as a sensei. Fatigue has made the class antisocial. Not a peep is heard among the ruffling papers. That can partly be attributed to the two empty seats besides me. For some reason, Misha and Shizune aren't present, probably doing council work for the festival. Thank God. It's very quiet without Misha's presence. I wonder if she was born as rowdy as she is, or if she's making up for Shizune's lack of voice. Nakai, can I speak to you for a moment? I'm so engrossed in thinking about Misha that I don't even notice Muto approaching my desk. Sure, what's this about? It's probably better if we speak outside the classroom. Something about this doesn't sound too good, but I stand up and follow him out to the hallway. Muto ascends the hallway, scratching his head as he works at what he's trying to say, not knowing what's going on. I wait silently. So, tell me, how are things? Things? I expected Muto to be a little vague, but this is pushing the limits. You know, things. You got a week to settle in now, so
How are things? Fine, I guess. I see. How's your condition? The pause before condition seemed a little unnecessary. I haven't had any problems so far. A brief shimmer of relief passes across Muto's face. Good. It's good. The school nurse is a little concerned that you might have been pushing yourself a bit too hard. He asked me to keep an eye on you when he couldn't. That makes sense. I'd ask you don't blow us off so freely. As much as we try to give you the level of education that you'd get at a normal school, you have to realize that you have limits. Our goal is to make sure you know where those limits are, and how to maximize your potential within them. Do you follow me? I guess, I don't plan on doing anything stupid. Well, that's a start, I guess. So, on to my next question. How are you finding your studies? I understand you were laid up for a while. Not too far ahead, are we? I don't really think so. I tried to keep up when I was in the hospital, so it hasn't been too hard. Muto taps his chin, raises his eyebrows as he absorbs this information. That's so. I suppose there are still students out there who realize the importance of learning. I wouldn't go that far. I was only trying to keep myself occupied in my little life support prison. Well, yeah, you've got to keep up with these things, right? That's exactly it. One wrong move in this world and you're left behind, right? Right, I wouldn't want that to happen. No, you wouldn't. Every week there's a new scientific discovery. Most of them mean nothing to the layperson, but any one of them could be the key to the next big thing. I'll keep that in mind. It's obvious that Muto's serious talk is over, and he's gone back to his standard, slightly scatterbrained approach to life. I think in hindsight that I prefer him this way. He's slightly more predictable in his unpredictability. Well then, I guess that's all I really had to say. Let's get back inside, shall we? My relief at the suggestion is insurmountable. Sure, you're the boss, right? Muto pauses for a moment. I don't think any of my students have ever said that to me before. For an instant, I considered replying to this, but it's something deep within me that tells me to shut my mouth and get back to the classroom. A few of the students jump at the sound of the door, rapidly trying to pretend that they're working on the questions of the board. Some don't even bother. Their heads slumped on the desk as they nap. Thankfully, it would appear that Muto doesn't even notice them. He returns to his desk and retrieves a scientific journal from one of the drawers. I guess I got to him there. The class returns in near silence that Muto and I left before our chat. Mixed feelings of tiredness and anticipation buzz around the room. Everyone here is either waiting for a chance to rest or the chance to get their last-minute preparations underway. The clock on the wall slowly ticks the remaining class time away until finally the bells cry out, ending the torment. Before you all leave, I expect the answers for those problems by Monday. The class sighs, one instantly regretting slacking off, but acutely aware of the one more pressing issues at hand. The classroom empties in a blink as everyone rushes to the last-minute festival preparations. I stay behind and try to quickly finish the questions so I don't have to bother with over the rest of the weekend with the festival and all tomorrow. Apart from me, Hanako's the only one left. Obviously, waiting for Lily. Is it weird that Lily comes all the way to our classroom not to pick her up? I expect that moving around is at least normally harder for her than it is for Hanako. But it's none of my business, and I naturally don't have to ask about it from Hanako. Despite the relative proximity of our seats, neither tries to strike up a conversation about that or anything else either, so an oppressive silence falls upon the classroom. Time passes in silence, probably about 15 minutes or so, but it feels longer. I turn pages of my notebook. Hanako turns pages of the novel she's reading. The pencil lead splinters against the paper just when I was about to finish a paragraph. The sound of my irritated sigh and subsequent fumbling around for a sharpener, I feel like they're breaking the mood of the classroom. Hanako keeps her eyes firmly away from my direction. Before long, Lily's tall figure appears in the doorway.
Hanako, Her name is all it takes to make Hanako jump from her desk and run the lily. They talk quietly for a moment, but it isn't too long before Lily leaves down the hall and Hanako idles back in the classroom, taking her seat once again. I have watched Hanako from the corner of my eye out of sheer curiosity at the idea that the two would be separated. For a couple of minutes, she does nothing but sit with her chin in her hand, staring at the desk dejectedly. The boredom evidently becomes too much for her, though. Her slender frame reaching into her bag and pulling out a small book. Come to think of it, that's the one I saw her reading at the library. She must be quite a fast reader to get through them at this rate. After about 10 minutes of restlessly shuffling in her seat and trying to read, Hanako closes her book and leaves too. As should I, since the assignment is all but finished and there's nothing else to do in the classroom. Not that I have anything to do anywhere else either. The school is a beehive of activity, but nobody pays me any heed. I saunter past classrooms, filled with students frantically doing this, that, buzzing around like little worker bees. You wouldn't guess, the school day is over. It's a bit quieter outside, but not by much. People zip by left and right, hurrying as quickly as they can, busy and energetic. I feel the opposite. The midday sun seems to be draining the spirit out of my body, making it feel limp all over. Warm, soft air flows inside my shirt, fleeing like a cushion. I yawn lazily, thinking about what I do. I'll drop off my books in the dorms first, and then something I haven't decided yet. On my way to the dorms, I spot Emmy coming my way, running, despite not having those weird running prosthetics on. I wave at her, and she skids to a stop.
Yo, he's so...
Spatters of white and green paint adorn her nose and chin respectively, but her smile is wide as it always seems to be. She leans closer to me, amplifying the feeling she's examining me.
What you doing?
Nothing really. I don't have to do anything for the festival now. Everyone seems to be doing something important.
That's perfect. Then you can help me and Rin.
With the festival preparations, I'm not sure if I would be much help.
That's fine. I'm not much help.
Yeah, bonk that dumb bitch. Emmy grabs my wrist and starts dragging me back to the school quite forcefully. Even with her walking speed is more like jogging, making me stumble over this simply, trying to keep up. The stairs slowed Emmy down a little bit. Maybe it's hard to climb with her legs, or maybe she's finally run out of breath. We go all the way back to the 3rd floor and to the seniors' hallway, ending up where I left it 5 minutes ago. I could just stayed here waiting for Emmy, had I known. So are you? Is Rin working on that mural still?
That's right. She needs all kinds of paints and brushes and stuff. So I went to get them from the art classroom.
And you need me to help with that.
Well, Rin told me you'd already helped her, so you wouldn't mind.
I see. So thanks to Emmy's flaky logic here, I'm once again collecting stuff from the art classroom for other people. The room empty apart from ourselves, the lonely specks of dusks floating in the air. Emmy skips straight away to the back wall, digging out a crumpled piece of paper from her pocket. While she tries to make sense of her scrawled handwriting, I take a closer look at the materials lying around here. Dozens of paint cans and bottles arranged around the shelves in an unorganized fashion. Some look like they've been left there for several decades, relics of previous art club generations. Next to the heavy stacks of neatly piled drawing paper are boxes full of different sized brushes and unsorted crayons. The smells of paint, turpentine/parasitic dewormers, fresh paper float in the stale air, mixing in my nostrils to form that unmistakable scent of art. Emmy studies her notes, comparing them to the markings on the various paint cans, and passes them to me as she finds the correct matches. She stretches her neck to look on the topmost shelf, but it's not quite enough. Her eyes stay below. The shelf, no matter what she does, Emmy gives up and just looks up to the shelf longingly, like a child at the toy store, huffing in annoyance. After a moment of building anger, she starts jumping up and down, apparently trying to speed read the labels. At the fraction of a second, she could see them, and to catch what she can. It's no surprise she fails miserably and almost manages to bring the entire shelf crashing down. Now I see why lending a hand here would be useful. Come on, let me do that. You just can't jump high enough, and I don't want you to hurt yourself trying. Also, I'm like twice your height.
You are not!
She turns around, flaring scorn, flushed cheeks and all. Just kidding. Anyway, I'll look up there, okay? She glares at me one more time, but can't come up with a retort. With a grunting humph, turns her back to me. So I begin scrounging at the top shelf for paint a while below. Emmy crouches to scavenge what she can from the cupboards. I shake my head a little after double checking to ensure she can't see me do so. Emmy having a complex about her height was a surprise. I wouldn't have joked about it otherwise. She seems easygoing, but I guess everyone has their weak spots. Only after we have almost all the items collected and spread out on a desk like a treasure hunter spoils, do I realize it wasn't necessarily the height jab that got her riled up. But she might not like to be told that she can't do something like jump. But Amy herself seems to have forgotten about it already. Quick to anger, quick to forgive. Is she that type of person? At least she doesn't seem to have taken anything to heart as she chatters away. Happily will we pick up the rest of the items and make our way back to Rin. I chivalrously carry the bulk of the materials as we make our way towards the dormitories.
Rin is really stressed out about her painting done. It's her own fault, though. She should have started earlier.
Is she going to make it?
No idea. It looks good to me, but with Rin, you never know what's going on. I found her this morning, lying in front of the door in a fetal position. She hadn't slept all night. I can't believe that the night nurses hadn't found her. And now she's painting again like crazy.
Yeah, I've noticed that she comes off as kinda unhinged, so to speak. Emmy giggles at that as well as my likely too obvious awkwardness.
I don't mind it. She's just a little weird sometimes.
On that, I can agree with her. Unlike me, Emmy seems to be cool with Rin's whatever it is that feels so off about her. Still, they don't feel close like Misha and Shizune do. With them working as a single entity sometimes, it's hard to say where one ends and the other begins. Even though they're so different, just like Emmy and Rin are. And Rin is the most different of them all, different from anyone else I've met. Yeah, I guess she's a very unique person. I return to that word again as if it encompasses Rin's personality by itself, but really it's just a substitute for a lengthy description of her oddities. Emmy giggles as I grasp about for a properly descriptive word.
She's just weird. You know, earlier, she spent half an hour sitting on her box and stared at her toes.
She giggles and again in a way that makes me think she doesn't know what's funny about it. It just is. The working area is a mess, but the mural itself has taken over, even more than the wall since I last saw it. The disfigured human figures have been mostly colored in tones of red, pink, and orange weird imaginary things populating the spaces between. It looks nice. I can't think of any word that would describe the work comprehensively, so I settled myself on a nondescript nice. But honestly, it seems like the area around the wall has become untidier at the same rate as the mural progresses. The ground is littered with dozens of paint cans, various art supplies, and empty soda bottles. Rin herself. is at the center of this chaos, standing there, looking very cozy as she was a natural part of the scene. Her pant legs have been rolled up to her knees, exposing her thin legs, which sport a drying spectrum of war paintings, similar to those on Emmy's face. Emmy sprints to Rin ahead of me, gleefully jumps in front of her. That was fast. Did you run in the corridors again?
You so help me!
Emmy points victoriously at me. Rin turns around, following Emmy's finger eyes, looking at my general direction. She nods absent-mindedly at me. She looks like she hasn't slept since last night. A vacant glaze stare that's focused slightly off me, and movements like a slow-motion movie. Hello, Hisao. Thank you for your help. Don't mention it. I just did. Never mind. Looks like you've made progress. Looking good, as far as I can tell. But now you get more bad luck. I know, but I'm willing to take the risk. That's a very nice thing to say. For me, of course. Not you. This is why artists are always unlucky. They have to constantly look at their unfinished paintings. So artists can't find romance. Their favorite TV shows are cancelled, or they die young because of unspecified disease. It's a deep, mysterious law of the universe. Unless they're blind. She considers this for a while, looking like she's gonna fall asleep. There is a boy. At the art club, you see. Blind boy. So he doesn't see. You already told me. I glance sideways at Emmy as she glances back in a way that tell she's heard this one before too. Neither of us say anything to Rin, though she continues her monotone soliloquy of like an unfunny stand-up comedian. You should become an artist. No bad luck guaranteed. Don't you think that'd be a good idea? That only blind people should become artists? No, not as such. You might have a point. Abandoning this train of thought, she turns again to consider her work and starts humming a tune that I think I recognize but can't remember the name of. Emmy arranges the supplies we brought and moves a few paint counters around, trying to bring in some organization to the scene. Emmy, I need the Prussian blue paint.
Which one's Prussian blue?
She's staring helplessly at 7 or 8 cans, each with a different tone of blue. It's the one with the Prussian blue paint in it.
Jeez, Rin! You're not helping at all!
I look around as well, even though I don't know what Prussian blue looks like either. I wonder what blue has to do with Prussia. Well, none of the blues look more Prussian than that. The others, small print with labels legible enough to determine that none say any about the contents being Prussian. There is no Prussian blue here. Emmy heaves a sigh.
I guess I have to go back and get some. I promised to help with our class project, though, so I'll be back a bit later. Can you manage with it for a few hours?
Rin nods and Emmy leaves. I stay by because I like watching Rin paint, and because I have nothing better to do. I sit on a box and pick up today's book from my bag. It's a story about 3 guys drinking beer for 2 weeks straight and doing little else. And with that said, it is time, my friends. I will stream this tomorrow, and I'll cut it off here. Let me just save this, because we're about to get into some choice routes. So I'm going to save. Let's create a save state right over here. We're going to pick somebody to raid. Let's see. Who do we got online right now? All right, we have... Who haven't I raided in a while? Let's see. We got... You know what? We're going to raid into Arthur. Arthur's playing a little Metroid.
I think he's like a house elf from Harry Potter. But anyways, everybody, thanks for coming by Katawa Shoujo. We're gonna raid Arthur Abbott. He's the house elf, the VTuber. So thanks for stopping on by. I'll continue this tomorrow, and I'm sure this will be absolutely lovely. But enjoy the 2-view raids. Hopefully I finish this. All 2 view of you guys. Take it easy. Thanks for coming by, and peace out.